Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk, and I've got news for you. We got a lot to cover today. I'm going to cover a lot of things, including yesterday, one of the biggest stories yesterday with the president, other than ending his 8th war, of course. He announced yesterday how he's going to end his 9th war. That is the Ukraine-Russian war, or the Russian-Ukraine war, whichever one you want to call it. But he revealed yesterday in front of the world his plan to end the war between Russia and Ukraine, and no one is reporting that. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. And we have quite a bit more to cover on the program, too, and your calls. If you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. Okay, President Trump is back home and at the White House, 2:45 a.m., Look at this. This is the president getting off of Marine One, walking down the steps towards the White House. Look at that, 2:45 a.m. I mean, is that not amazing? 2:45 a.m. President Trump is back at the White House, and you know he's just ended his 8th war. Announced his plans to end the Russian-Ukraine war. Then he's back. And then today, he's going to be awarding Charlie Kirk, the late, great Charlie Kirk, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This guy is such an inspiring figure. I mean, I can't sleep. Because how can I sleep when President Trump, who's so much older than I, is going to basically 20, 21 hours a day? He's a great inspiration for productivity. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. So I'm going to jump right into it. It's nice to have the president back home in the United States. When I reveal his plan to end the war with Russia, you guys are going to be very excited about this. And you may not have realized it. Here he is. That first video, that was President Trump, 2:45 a.m., walking in the White House. Right before this is the president landing back in the United States and getting off of Air Force One. Man, this guy has energy and stamina that mortal men just do not have. Amazing, isn't it? There he is, wide awake. This is like 2:30 in the morning. There's Marine One. Man, oh man. I don't know how the man does it. So now I want to get into this story. Letitia James, I have this in the title and thumbnail of today's live stream. Letitia James is in a major panic. She's scared. She got busted committing federal crimes. Committing fraud, mortgage fraud with the banks. She's in a complete panic. She went to a Zohan Mamdani event last night, gave a speech. I'm going to play you some clips of it, and showed how panicked she is. But before I do that, I want to show you a couple of things. The liberals have this bizarro talking point in regards to Antifa, that Antifa does not exist, right? This is their new talking point. I got a call on my podcast yesterday afternoon with some idiot liberal trying to tell me that Antifa does not exist. And I want to share a couple clips of that. First, this is Keith Ellison, Attorney General in Minnesota.
So the fact that there is nobody even knows what it is. The first person I ever heard use the word Antifa was Donald J. Trump.
Okay, now, he's acting like Antifa doesn't exist. He never heard of it. And then, of course, this photo that he posted of himself some time ago on, back in the days when it was Twitter, is a picture of him holding the Antifa book, Antifa, the Anti-Fascist Handbook. Never heard of the organization, doesn't know what it is, doesn't exist, but he's got the Antifa handbook in his hand, and he took a picture and put it up on Twitter.
So the fact that there is nobody even knows what it is. The first person I ever heard use the word Antifa was Donald J. Trump. When he was going on about how there were good people on both sides in Charlottesville. That's the first time I ever heard anyone use the term. So now it's this amorphous thing, and if nobody's really Antifa, then everybody could be.
Okay. So, that's so he made a fool out of himself. And then this montage is going viral. I have this from Tom Elliott on X. And he has this montage.
There's no Antifa. This is an entirely imaginary organization. There is not an Antifa.
Like, I don't even know what Antifa is. There is no group.
It's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Compared to right-wing extremists, Antifa-linked violence is rare and limited.
It isn't an organization. It is a in many ways mythology.
It's not like the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers, sort of defined terrorist organizations with leadership that leads violence.
It's not a highly organized movement. It's a moniker. It's not a unified group like the Proud Boys are. Things like Antifa are things that are thought up.
It's all in this guise of going after Antifa, which is nothing. There's no organization called Antifa.
Nobody's a member of Antifa because it doesn't exist. They are just declaring into existence something that doesn't exist.
There is no Antifa organization, so maybe that's good for social media, but it really is non-existent.
They exist on the internet in chat rooms and in 4chan and Discord and places like that, where they run discussion boards, trade tactics, documents, things like that. But none of them are called Antifa.
Okay, so this talking point, I know, while they're burning down and committing all this mayhem in Portland and elsewhere, they're trying to tell us that Antifa doesn't exist. Now, if you're watching on the live stream where you see the green behind me, to see and hear all the audio and video that I share, you have to go to my main stream, which is linked in the description of that video. Click that. You can see and hear all the audio I play. So the reason I shared that last night, so yeah, Antifa doesn't exist. That's their new thing. And don't believe your lying eyes. The reason I share that is this. I'm going to play something for you. Last night, Zohan Mamdani had a campaign event in New York City. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the phones in a bit. And the panicked Letitia James, her friends call her Big Tish, she was indicted last week by the Trump Justice Department for mortgage fraud. And she goes into a panic. She speaks at the Mamdani event, and she does something at this event that everyone's talking about. And I'm going to play some of this speech for you here. This is Big Tish, Letitia James, in a panic last night at the Mamdani event. You see that? That fist? You know what that is? That's the symbol of Antifa. The fist in the air over the head like that is the symbol of Antifa. So is Letitia James, is she Antifa? That's the symbol of it right there. I'm going to play some of the speech in a bit. This organization that doesn't exist except in chat rooms and ideas and thoughts. I guess they have some type of clairvoyant powers where their thoughts can create all kinds of mayhem and throw bricks through the air and light things on fire and such. But no, she is doing the Antifa symbol right there, Letitia James. Is she calling on Antifa? All right, our number is toll-free 888-465-2631. Let's listen to what Letitia James has to say. There she is, the Antifa symbol.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Desperate. Doesn't she look scared to you? She's off. She's not her normal self. We love Tish. She looks scared.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I've got your back.
Yes, she's got your back.
Yeah. I love you more. So good evening, everyone. It is so good to be here with all of you, standing with my very good friend, my little brother, and one of the boldest voices in the history of New York politics, Zoran Mamdani.
What has he voiced? Legalizing prostitution? Nationalizing the food supply in the city? You know, making it a government grocery? What has he voiced that's so important?
We are here tonight because we are ready to turn the page on the cynical, broken politics of the past. We are ready to build a city that works for the people who actually make it run. Working people, the teachers, the nurses.
Teachers? What have teachers built in New York City?
Drivers, the home health aides, the firefighters, the police. Not just for those at the top, but for working people who...
Okay, so she's going full Antifa here. Let me pull up another clip. I'm going to keep that one because she is most definitely doing the Antifa fist there. Let me pull up the other clip of Big Tish. Hold on. She was on a tear last night. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. Big Tish last night at the Mamdani event. And she does not look her normal self. Her face looks much different than normal. I think she's terrified because they caught her. And, you know, when you catch these criminals, it's not just the crimes you catch them on. They know everything they've done. So, you know, she's panicked about all the things that you and I may not know that she's done coming out. Oh, yes. Does she not look? There she is. The Antifa symbol again. See? A little closer. But you can see her face up close. It also looks a little bit like a Sieg Heil. Is that a Sieg Heil, putting her arm up in the air like that? Is that a Heil Hitler thing that she's doing? Right? Because I know, I remember once Elon waved at someone far away, and then they said he was doing the Hitler salute. So is she also doing the Hitler salute there? She's got her arm raised. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it might be. Now, hold on, there was another clip I have of her. And see, this is the Antifa symbol right there. Others have used it, but that's the Antifa symbol, right? Yeah. So, and that's what she's doing. She's doing a Nazi salute. She's doing an Antifa salute. Yeah, that's Big Tish. Another clip of her that I want to show before we get into some other things. Hold on. Oh, was that the last one? All right. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. All right. If you're on hold, stand by.
You see, I know what it feels like to be attacked for just...
You hear this? She's talking like Arsenio Hall as the evangelical preacher in Coming to America. Be attacked! Be attacked! You hear how she says it?
You see, I know what it feels like to be attacked.
Be attacked. Yeah. Remember Arsenio Hall, Coming to America?
You see, I know what it feels like to be attacked for just doing your job. But I also know what it feels like to overcome adversity.
Really? She knows what... Big Tish here, Letitia James, she knows what it's like to overcome adversity. What adversity did she face? And when and how did she overcome it? Because it seems to me she's gotten a pretty big free pass in her life. All right, we'll go back here.
You see, I know what it feels like to be attacked for just doing your job. but I also know what it feels like to overcome adversity.
Wait, being attacked for doing her job. What job did she do that got her attacked? What did she do that was within the definition of her job at any time in her life that got her attacked?
And so I stand on solid rock.
See, there she goes with the Arsenio Hall preacher thing. Solid rock.
And so I stand on solid rock. And I will not bow. I will not break. I will not bend. I will not capitulate. I will not give in. I will not give up.
Now, do you hear that? Now, talk about how nervous she is. Do you hear this? When she says, I will not give up, you hear this breath sound into the microphone. And what that is, she's having a panic attack. She's dealing with severe anxiety because she got caught. And that out of breathness that she has there, that is because she may not look, her face looks different to me. She looks terrified to me. But that breath, that's the anxiety attack, the fear of prison.
I will not capitulate. I will not give in. I will not give up.
You hear that? You hear that noise? When she says, I will not give up, listen.
I will not give in. I will not give up.
Heard it?
You come for me, you gotta come to all of us.
All of us. See, back to the Arsenio Hall Coming to America preacher.
You come for me, you gotta come to all of us. All of us. Every single one of us.
See? One of us. One of us.
All of us. We're all in this together.
See the breath again? You hear the breath through the nose? Listen to the breath. She did it again.
All of us. We're all in this together.
Hear it? Yeah. Yeah. So she's definitely panicked. Now, I got a question here. I want to look at okay. This sign, our time has come, Zoran for New York City. When you look at his name, what font is that? What font is that? Is that kind of like, is that like Islamic font? Like if you were doing, I don't know. What kind of font is that? It looks Islamic to me. Doesn't it to you? Like if you were, doing, yeah. Like if you were making a movie and you had signs in English, but you wanted it to look like it was in an Islamic area, would you use that kind of font with the color? I think it is. I think it is. But she most definitely is not herself and is in a major panic. Now, if you're new to the program, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And, a little more than a month ago, I expanded the morning show, as you noticed, because here we are. We're not even on the radio yet. I start early, run late. We turn it into a 4-hour show. Plus, if you catch my afternoon program and my weekend program, all of that is brought to you by the great Mike Lindell at MyPillow. And he is sponsoring everything that I am doing in this expansion. And last month was the first month. I did it a month before because I wanted to make sure that I could do it and maintain all this extra programming that I'm doing. So I didn't want to take on the sponsorship the first month till I knew I could do it. But he is sponsoring this expansion of everything I'm doing here. So for him to continue to do that, you've got to go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and load up on as many products as you can. I did have a meeting on Friday with Mike Lindell's team, and you guys, you made them very happy last month. So we got to keep it going. So they'll continue the sponsorship of the expansion of the program. So go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. There's 3-in-1 sale going on right now. The 6-piece MyPillow towel set, They're $30 off, just $39.98. The limited edition premium My Pillows, just $17.98. The My Pillow bed sheets, just $29.88. I have all these products, and they are just they're life-changing. They're life-changing. The towels are just I've never had a proper towel before. I didn't realize that till I had the Mike Lindell My Pillow towels that actually absorb the water. Don't just spread it around on your body. And the pillows, the premium My Pillows have the Giza cotton cover on them, and they're just spectacular. Save $100 on the My Pillow My Slippers. You can use my promo code Kane at checkout on all the specials at mypillow.com. And it's important for you guys to let Mike Lindell know that you support his sponsorship of the expansion of the program by going to mypillow.com and using my promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout. I mean, look at this, $39.98 for the My Pillow My Slippers. You're saving $110, actually. It's even bigger. The My Pillow My Cross, what a great Christmas present this would be. 50% off. They have a version for men and a version for women. This is the male version for men that Mike Lindell himself wears. 50% off the My Cross necklace with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And again, you can use my promo code Kane on all the specials at mypillow.com. Let Mike Lindell know, and free shipping on orders that are $100 or more. Let Mike Lindell know that you're supporting the program by using my promo code Kane, Kane. All right, now, yesterday, and you guys, what do you think about Letitia James? Does she look panicked? Is that fist? That is the Antifa fist. And then when she, is she calling on Antifa to back her? I know some people may say, well, that's the Black Power. The Black Power, no, it's the Antifa. It was Antifa first, and they took it from Antifa, the anti-fascist. They took it from that. And that's what it is. And that's what it is now, because you see that symbol, the fist symbol, quite often with the Antifa people in Portland and around the country where they show up with Antifa signs. You often see them with the logo that has that Letitia James fist in it. And the look on her face, she does not look like she's smooth sailing here. She's afraid of going to prison because she got caught. She knows she got caught. And she knows about all the other things she's done that we may not even know about yet. The prosecutors may not even know about yet, but she's terrified. And, if she would have just done her job properly and not weaponized the New York Attorney General's office, she would have gotten away with these crimes for the rest of her life. No one would have ever looked into or prosecuted her for these crimes if she just would have done her job legally and not weaponized the Attorney General's office of New York and gone after Trump on these trumped-up charges. All right, the number is toll-free if you want to call in, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. If you're watching live, the number's pinned in the live chat. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
You look at not just her breathing, not just James's breathing, but you look at her body language.
Yeah.
And you go back, compare her body language to the body language she had as she was running for the office and I'm going to go after Trump and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There is no confidence there.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. I mean, she's blustering on, but she has to know, I'm going to fight this indictment. Okay. Trump can send, this is an interstate thing, this is a federal case. Trump can send the U.S. Marshals out and get her.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no, like I said, no confidence in body language.
Yeah.
Bad body
language.
Well,
the way that she's out of breath, that's to me a sign of a panic attack. I'm a public speaker. I know what it's like. I go through stuff in my life. I see people go through things in their life, on the air. Hold on, let me pause it. And I know what it sounds like and looks like when someone's having a panic attack as a public speaker. I've seen it with friends of mine. I've gone through things in my life when I've had issues, and I'm like, and you guys may not be able to tell, but I can tell by looking at myself that, this thing was going on in my life. And the way Letitia is acting during this whole thing, she is freaking out and very desperate.
Absolutely, absolutely. And think about this now. There's a clip of Alec Baldwin when he was doing his radio show, right? And he wasn't getting calls and all this stuff, and you could hear the panic in his voice.
Oh yeah.
The guy was trying to sabotage him, but you could hear the panic in his voice.
Yeah.
And you're right. Breathing is totally different.
Yeah, it's anxiety, panic attacks, it's all the same thing. Right? Stage fright is anxiety, panic attacks, it's all the same thing. And what do you think? Does it look like Zohan, the font that he uses for his campaign? Doesn't it look like Arabic font?
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he obviously he's Muslim, he's Arabic, he's from that part of the world. His mom, of course, his parents, and all that stuff, right? But again, if that's what they want, I mean, we can't allow. It looks like it's a fait accompli that he's going to be. It's a fait accompli. So what can we do?
Yep. All right. Appreciate the call, Mike. Yeah. And if you're on hold, hang in there. After the top of the hour, when we start on the radio, President Trump yesterday revealed his plan to end the war with Russia and Ukraine. It was there in front of everyone, and no one has covered this. I'm not going to share it now. I'm going to wait till after we start on the radio, after the top of the hour. You won't want to miss it. And when I tell you, you'll say, yeah, that's exactly right. It might take you a second. At first, you might think, no, but if you think about what I say, some of you will get it right away and say, yep, that's exactly what he's doing. And those of you that say, nah, you think about it later, you'll agree. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Reg from Haiti, calling from New York.
Hey, Red, what's up?
Good morning, Brian.
How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing all right.
Hanging
Thank
in
you.
there, man. Just call to let you know, if you remember, when they indict ex-President Donald J. Trump, what the media was doing with it, I remember they was repeating the same line 24/7.
Yeah.
Every channel you flip. No one is above the Lord. No one is above the Lord.
Yes.
No one is repeatedly.
Yes.
24/7. It was like a drum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you see what they doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Now they make Letitia James indictment look like nothing. They're trying to cover it. They're trying to do a whole lot of things, bro.
Yeah, remember the one anchor on CNN said, well, everybody does this with their mortgages. No, they don't. I haven't committed mortgage fraud. Apparently, maybe she has. I don't.
Let me tell you something. The Democrat Party can do no wrong for the media.
That's
no
correct.
Wrong whatsoever.
That's correct.
Only the Republican get indicted.
Yep.
For any little thing. The Republican get indicted for no crime.
Yep.
Republican get investigated for no crime.
That's true.
But
that's true. And you called me the other day. You called me the other day, and and I asked you why they call you Red, and you say you're kind of red in color. And I remember I've known some black guys that go by Red, that are red in color. Is there like racial discrimination inside the black community between black people who are lighter skinned or red like you, as opposed to people that are darker? Do you ever see any of that kind of racial discrimination inside the black community itself?
Not really here, but in my country it's like that.
In Haiti it was like that? Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's just like, you have some the light skinned people, like they consider themselves like as a higher class than the dark skinned people,
Wow. Racism inside the black community against other blacks. Hey, Red, appreciate the call. Take care. Yeah, isn't that something? Oh, hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Kira, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, Atlanta, Georgia. What's on your mind?
Yes, so it's a lot on my mind, actually. So I'm actually a Democrat, but I've been leaning towards Republican for the past couple of years. So I just wanted to, like an opinion. Like, how do you feel about a person that's leaning towards the other side, but not fully committed?
Well, why are you not fully committed? What's holding you back?
What's holding me back is like the things about women when it comes to Republicans. Like,
really?
like things when it comes to,
Like what?
how do you explain it? Like abortion and it's
What do
a
you mean?
lot. When it comes to Republicans, when it comes to women, I think they're kind of old school.
What is
So when it
an
comes to
old?
that,
Okay, President Trump is the leader of the Republican Party. Give an example
Yeah.
of something President Trump has said or done as president that is anti-woman.
Well, let me tell you, I can give you an example of who he chose as a vice president.
J.D. Vance?
And that I do not agree.
J.D. Vance?
Yes.
What about J.D.
Correct.
Vance?
Mm-hmm. So J.D. Vance has said multiple times that if a woman is not having babies, they're not useful. He has said multiple times about women that choose to have an abortion. If they get raped, they should go to hell. So it's a lot.
I've not heard him say either of those things. That sounds like some liberal wish list talking point thing. But abortion seems near and dear to your heart. Why is abortion? Because you keep going back to that. Why is that your number one issue?
That's not my number one.
No, you've mentioned it more than once. I mean, how old are you?
Well, I'm 26 years old.
26. Okay. Have you ever had an abortion?
I have not, no.
Okay, but you want to have it as a backup in case you get knocked up by some hookup that you don't want to have the baby of? Is that it? I mean, what's your...
Well, God forbid I get raped one day.
I didn't say raped. I didn't say raped. I said some hookup. Like you go out, you hook up with some guy, and you get pregnant. You want to be able to have the abortion.
Well, listen, I don't go around hooking up with random people.
Well, then why are you so obsessed with abortion?
I'm not obsessed with abortion.
I mean, what makes you think you cannot get an abortion in the United States? You can get an abortion anywhere in the United States.
Listen, you're not making a good look for Republicans. And like I said, I was on the fence.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to get you off this fake fence you're on. I mean, where can you not get an abortion? Where can you not get an abortion in the United States?
I agree with a lot of things when it comes to Republicans. That's why.
No. Where can you not get an abortion in the United States?
I've never had one.
No. But if you said that Republicans are limiting your abortion rights.
Yes, sir.
So if you wanted to have an abortion, where could you not get one?
You would have to ask J.D. Vance. He wants to close all the abortion clinics in America.
The abortion clinics have all closed. The abortions are now done with those pills mostly that you get at the drugstore.
Yeah, and I've never had one. Like I said, that's something that you will have to Google. I've never had one.
Well, I didn't. No, that's not what I'm saying here. You can get an abortion anywhere. J.D. Vance is Catholic like I am. He's pro-life, but he's not outlawing abortion.
If God forbid a woman get raped, she should be able to have an abortion.
You can. There's nowhere where you cannot have an abortion if you've been raped. You can still have an abortion.
Do you not understand?
They're trying to stop that. You're talking about things that haven't happened. Who's trying to stop that?
So, J.D. Vance.
No, he's not.
Your vice president.
No, he's not. He's not trying to stop that.
Goodness. Are you joking right now?
No.
Have you heard anything he said?
Yeah, of course. I listen to him every day. He never talks about abortion. Now, as Catholic, he's pro-life. But no, even with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and there's still these rape exceptions. Now, I don't believe that you should get an abortion then either. Huh?
But I believe that it should be a woman's choice.
Really?
It's her body. It should be a woman's choice.
It should be a woman's choice. When it comes, hold on a second here. There's nowhere in this country, if you are a rape victim, what happens when they're
trying? Do you not understand? They're trying to stop that. That's the problem.
You live in this future world that doesn't exist right now in America. If you get raped,
if you're going to be alive tomorrow, the future exists. Correct?
If you are raped, you go to the hospital. They give you that pill right there, even if they don't know you're pregnant.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It does work like that. It does work that way.
You just have to say, I've been raped, and give you a pill. It doesn't work like that.
Yes, it does.
You have to actually sign up.
No.
You have a vagina?
Listen.
No, you have to actually.
You have to have a vagina to know about how abortion laws work? Since when?
You do now, but it seems like you don't. So I think.
Well, you know what? My preferred pronoun today is she and her. So I'm a woman now. Okay, because you liberals say I could just be a woman if I declare it. So now I'm a woman. So is my opinion valid now? I just changed my pronouns to she and her. Can I render an opinion on abortion now?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm against it. Okay, but now since I identify as a woman for this brief conversation, my opinion's now valid. All right, appreciate the call. Oh my goodness. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're about to do my pronouns now are he and him. I've reverted back to the he and him pronoun for now. I like this. So, she had that old talking point. Well, you're not a woman. You can't have an opinion. So I just changed my preferred pronouns. And then she said my opinion's all of a sudden valid. I like this. I like this thing. I might start using this with callers. I could just identify in any given call what I am and who I am. Can I do that can I say that I'm black or Hispanic and stuff too? Or is it just with gender, my preferred gender? Can I have a preferred ethnicity as well? I don't know. If you're on hold, stand by. We're coming up on the switch over to the radio, and I don't like to take calls right before that, just in case we accidentally get switched on. But so if you're on hold, stand by. Oh, man, I like that. That's a new tactic. I wish Rush was alive to hear that. I bet you Rush would pick up on that. Oh, man. Let me ask you something, guys. Does anyone know if Rush Limbaugh's radio archive is available somewhere? I had an idea. I was thinking about getting an iPod and just downloading all of Rush's shows on an iPod. I was thinking about doing that. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? I don't know. Are his radio shows available for download somewhere? Okay, we're going to be live on the radio in about a minute. That's great. I like that. Okay, we are going to be live on the radio in just over a minute. So if you're on hold, stand by. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I like this. I can identify as whatever I want at any particular time. That was awesome. See, I had a cup of coffee before I left the house this morning. So I'm a little more awake than I normally would be at this point in the program. If you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I host a morning radio show and morning drive here in Florida, and we're about 40 seconds away from being live on the radio. This has been the pre-show. I'll continue, and if you're on hold, hang in there. Now, just remember, from this point forward, no profanity. No profanity. I have to do an intro when we come on the air in 30 seconds. That was awesome. I really like that. All right, here we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. It is Tuesday morning already. The week is flying by, this great week of MAGA winning. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Callers on hold, stand by. We have so much to cover today. I do a pre-show that starts about, 40, 45 minutes before the radio show on YouTube. So you guys, and I take live calls, so if you don't follow me on YouTube, you should. Brian Craig Show on YouTube, plus my afternoon live show with calls. But I take live calls, and I was just talking to a lady, liberal, 26-year-old liberal Democrat. She called in. This was the best. You got to go to my YouTube channel and listen to the call in its entirety, but I'm going to tell you, it was... I did something with a liberal caller that I've never done before, And when you're dealing with a true blue liberal, it's amazing, this new trick. And it was so awesome that this is probably one of my favorite calls I've had in a long time. So she calls in with this fake thing that she's a Democrat that's leaning right now. She's on the fence, and she wants me to convince her to be a Republican. And we're talking. I'm not going to convince this fake fence sitter. But, you know, these narcissistic Gen Zers, they love people to try to convince them of things. But she mentioned abortion a few times, and this was her primary issue. So we're talking about abortion. I gave her my opinion on abortion, and she says, well, you know, you don't have a vagina, so you can't, you know, give an opinion on abortion. And I said, well, wait a minute. I said, you know, right now, for the purposes of this call, I now identify as a woman, and for the purposes of this phone call, my preferred pronouns are now she and her, right? So I changed my pronouns from he and him to she and her. And I said, now that my preferred pronouns are she and her, is my opinion on abortion valid now? And she said, yes. I transformed into a woman live in this call. Now, after the call, I did change back to my birth pronouns of he and him. So this was so freaking awesome. And that's really cool. That is such a cool thing. So for the purposes of that call, you got to go and listen to the call. It's hilarious, and it's a cool thing. Now, I have a question, because I might use this in the future. Oh, man. Okay, I'm so that's so exciting to be able to do this, you know. Is that only for gender? Can I identify as a black man or a black woman or a Hispanic man or a Hispanic? Does it go with ethnicities? Is there a preferred ethnicity, or is it only with gender? Let me know at 888-465-2631. Okay, if you're on hold, stand by. Now, yesterday, we had a great day of winning all day long. The president, by the way, is back home. He arrived at the White House at 2:45 a.m. So, and it's great weather outside because President Trump's back in America. And it was a great day of winning yesterday, a great day of winning. And President Trump yesterday, he ended his 8th war. When he became president, there were 9 wars in the world. Now there's only one, and that's the Russian-Ukraine war. He's ended 8, and now he's working on the 9th. And yesterday, he revealed his strategy and his detailed plan on ending the 9th war, the Russian-Ukraine war. And no one has picked up on this. And in a few minutes, I'm going to go through that. And we got a lot of stuff about Letitia James and a whole bunch of things to comment on. All right, I'm going to take some of these calls, though, first early on. And then after the first break, I'll share with you President Trump's plan that he announced to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's the truth from Alberta, Canada.
Hey, Alberta. What's up?
Hey, man. I just want to say that 26-year-old, he doesn't understand that abortion is actually murder. Okay? And what Donald Trump did yesterday was absolutely historical, amazing.
Yes.
And we need Trump here.
Well, you know, yesterday, what we saw with President Trump yesterday, you have Trump. President Trump yesterday was elevated to a new position. He's no longer just the president of the United States. He's now the president of the world. Right. He's the president of the world now. And he made a funny joke with your prime minister yesterday, Carney.
Yeah.
He mistakenly referred to Prime Minister Carney as President Carney, and he's like, "Oh, thanks for the promotion to president." He's like, "Well, at least I didn't call you governor." You know, I made a little joke. But President Trump has been elevated to president of the world, and this is what I mean. Something happened yesterday. I was watching this on TV, and it blew my mind. I've never seen this before. When President Trump was in Egypt, all these world leaders were lined up like they were at Comic-Con in San Diego with some celebrity. All these big, powerful world leaders lined up to take a selfie with President Trump, one by one. And they waited in line for a long time. And then after that, they waited still for the big group photo at the end. I have never seen, and I've followed all the presidents of the United States in my lifetime. I've always followed news and politics, and I've always been interested in presidents. I have never seen that happen before. I've seen presidents take pictures before with people, but I've never seen a Comic-Con-like line of world leaders in a line waiting for a long time to take a photograph, a selfie with a president like that. And it was a sign of not just respect for him and our great country, but also he was being anointed in his new position as president of the world. There's an old saying that the president of the United States is leader of the free world. This president is leader of the world. And it was beautiful. And I loved every moment.
I agree.
Yeah. So you already have Trump, is what I'm telling you. And your prime minister was sucking up to Trump yesterday like nobody's business. The Canadian prime minister, oh my goodness. He was kissing Trump's butt all day.
What was he doing there to begin with when he wanted to support Palestine as a two-state solution?
Kissing Trump's butt.
Right?
That's what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you, when the prime minister, we have Air Force One. Does the prime minister have his own plane, or does he just charter like an Air Canada flight? Does the Canadian prime minister have like Canada Force One?
It's old as dirt. He has his own plane, but it's old as dirt.
Really?
He doesn't even have wall plugs on that plane.
It doesn't have what?
I'm dead serious.
It doesn't have what?
He doesn't have wall plug. You can't even plug your phone in to charge it.
Really? There's no phone charger on what's the plane called? We have Air Force One. What's the plane called?
I believe it's called Canada One.
Canada One. Is it a jet or is it a prop plane? So what are all these people doing with their laptops and phones on the flight to Egypt? They must have been jonesing to plug their phone. They must have been looking for wall plugs as soon as they landed.
Oh, of course. I mean, you would think with all the money he's spending, right?
Yeah.
That he would actually upgrade the plane.
Yeah.
Or do something.
Yeah.
Right, but no, he's giving millions and.
I don't know why he does that. He should just charter. He should just charter an Air Canada flight. I'm sure they have Wi-Fi and you can plug your. They have USB plugs on Air Canada. All right, take care. Appreciate the call from Canada. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Tim from Detroit.
Hey, what's up, Detroit?
Outside of Detroit.
Okay, what's up?
I just want to get your opinion, and I'm a little confused on the Republican side. How do you feel about this Israel-Palestine? Do you fall in the camp of pro-Israel, or do you see the other side, the Tucker Carlsons, the Candace Owens?
What's the other side, where you go into music festivals and grab young girls and rape them and murder them and then take them and their boyfriends hostage? Is that the other? What's the other side? No, I'm against that. I'm pro-Israel. Yeah.
Well, listen.
I didn't know there was another side to the rapes and murders and the attack at the music festival 2 years ago.
Well,
I wasn't aware of that. But then again, you're outside Detroit.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of preaching to the choir, but there is a little bit to the other side.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe if you're Ted Bundy or BTK, but no, I don't think so. No, there's not another side. Did you notice that the hostages they released were all men? Why did they not release any female hostages?
What's your point?
They raped them to death. They raped and murdered them. They raped them to death. No, there's no other side.
Listen, you're preaching to the choir, okay?
Yeah.
What they did, I'm trying to understand now. Let me give you the other side. The way Israel and the Jewish people throw so much money at our politicians. I believe they need to be protected for sure. But they say we're drawn into all these wars and all these.
We haven't been drawn into any war, and we haven't been drawn into any war. And furthermore, if you listen to President Trump's speech yesterday in Israel, the one in the Knesset, I played the whole thing. You didn't?
I did.
Okay.
I told
Well,
you
at
I
least
did. I watched the
twice.
whole thing.
Okay. I played it here yesterday. The whole show was that yesterday. At least twice, maybe just once, but I think it was at least twice, he had mentioned that Netanyahu didn't want this peace deal. He had to force Israel into it. So if what's the name of the Jewish lobby again? I forgot their name. And Washington. AIPAC. Yeah, I knew you'd know. I knew it. I knew you'd know. You know. So those of you that are obsessed with AIPAC and Jewish control of the politicians, if this country is controlled by Israel and the Jews, explain to me how Trump went against what Israel wanted. Israel wanted to wipe out Gaza, annex it back to Israel. They did not want this deal.
Well,
he went against them.
Well,
Sorry.
That's why the deal worked.
Oh, so the United States, the president, and our politicians are not controlled by Israel and the Jews because they went against what Israel. All right. Oh my goodness. There he goes. Boom, woo, 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 woo. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our first break of the hour. When we come back, I'll share with you President Trump yesterday revealed how he's going to end the war with Russia and Ukraine. It's pretty brilliant. No one's picked up on this. I'm going to share it with you after the break. And also, we got some big stuff on Letitia James and a whole bunch more. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I want to ask you this. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? Then listen up. Neuropathy is living torture, right? The symptoms make life really unbearable. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in the hands and feet, muscle weakness, dizziness, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet, no feeling at all. You can have multiple symptoms at once. You can have them in rotation, like musical selection on the radio. You know, it's god awful. And your primary care doctor, even your neurologist, will tell you there is no treatment for neuropathy. That's your life. Get used to it. That's what Steve Kane's doctors told him. And we found Lighthouse Medical in Pompano. Now, Lighthouse Medical can help you with neuropathy no matter where you are located in the United States. No matter where you're located, call. Okay, Steve went to them and took advantage of their neuropathy treatment. He saw, after his first treatment, the next day he was already seeing relief. They rid him of all of his neuropathy symptoms. Over 3 years ago that happened, and over 3 years have passed, and his neuropathy symptoms have not returned. Lighthouse Medical has a treatment for neuropathy. They have a treatment for neuropathy that works, and they have a treatment for neuropathy that lasts. Call them no matter where you're located. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. Here's the number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642, and online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. So we're in a radio station break right now, but those of you watching online, you know, I was this fist thing that Letitia did. That my question to you two things about this. Right? Let me show it to you. This is Letitia at the Mamdani event last night. There she is. Okay. We have been told. See, remember that time when Elon Musk waved at someone? They said that was a Nazi salute. Is that a Nazi salute? And isn't the fist the symbol of Antifa? So is that a Nazi salute of Letitia's, or is she reaching out to Antifa? Antifa Letitia. That sounds like a name. Antifa Letitia. What is that? That's the Antifa symbol, and it's also a Nazi salute. What are your thoughts? All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you chickened out. That's okay. It looks that way to me, doesn't it? What do you guys think? Is that an Antifa fist, or is that a Nazi salute? Which do you think it is? The Black Power thing from the 60s, they took that from Antifa. They took that from Antifa in the 60s. It's not well known, but they did. It originated with Antifa International. And the Black Power movement, who they thought they were fighting fascists, they were fighting Democrats. They adopted the Antifa black fist. So that is the Antifa. You see that fist oftentimes in the Antifa signage at the events in Portland. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take more calls after the break. If you want to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. If you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, to see all the video, hear the sound bites and the images and everything I show, go to my main live stream. There's a link in the description of the episode to that. And I want to remind you guys, all of this extra content that I'm bringing you, which includes the extra hour of the show, my afternoon show, the weekends, and continuing the show during the radio breaks, as I'm doing right now, is all brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. And it's so important for you guys to go to MyPillow and use my promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, and let Mike Lindell know that you support this program by using my promo code KANE at checkout. I'll try. I got time to take a call before we're back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. My name's Fred. I'm in Tampa.
Fred in Tampa. What's up, Fred in Tampa?
What's up, man? I just got two questions for you about I'm a conservative. I voted for Trump. I like what he did for January 6th with the pardons, but I don't like what's happening in Denver with Tina Peters, and I don't know like the logistics of him getting a pardon in another state, and also
the president can only presidents can only pardon federal crimes. They cannot pardon local or state crimes. Only federal crimes. That's why That's why the lawfare people were using Letitia James and Bragg to go after Trump in New York, because presidents cannot pardon local and state crimes, only federal crimes.
Right.
So you're talking about someone facing local crimes.
Like more like conservatives to be outspoken about Tina Peters. Everybody was all worked up about.
I don't know anything about Tina Peters. I don't know about Tina Peters. But how can you say you support Trump? But I mean, look at what this guy's done. How can you say, Trump took a bullet, from the Never Trumpers, and he kept going, and he got up and said, fight, 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 after he was shot in the head. And I'm from Tampa, I support Trump, how dare you?
I ask liberals all the time.
All right, hey, listen, we got to run. We're coming back. Hold on. All right, we are back. Oh, boy, I was talking during the... All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. All right, so let me tell you, President Trump, he announced yesterday, and no one picked up on this, but President Trump announced yesterday how he's going to end the war with Russia and Ukraine. Did you guys pick up on this? Let me explain. President Trump, remember how everyone used to say Trump's playing tri-dimensional chess? That's a Star Trek reference, right? People say that a lot in the first campaign, in the first term. He's always 5 steps ahead. He's always 10 moves ahead. He's so many moves ahead that no one picked up on this, but I'm going to share it with you now. This was huge. Okay, so yesterday something happened, this is in Egypt. Now, if you remember, and by the way, I took that first break late, so this is going to be a short segment, but after this segment, we're going to be on track and take our breaks on time for the rest of the show. I am going to make a point to take every break on time today, okay? So I apologize for this short segment. It's my fault. I will be on time moving forward. Okay, so let me get to this. Yesterday in Egypt, this was amazing. Okay, now on yesterday's show, I played the Trump speech. It took almost the whole show. I don't think it ended till around 8:30 yesterday, and that's not what I was planning on doing. President Trump was scheduled to speak in Israel at 4 a.m. Eastern time yesterday, which was 11 a.m. Israeli time. He was about 2 hours late for whatever reason. And during the speech, he mentioned more than once that, are they still going to be there when I get to Egypt? There's not going to be anyone there. Steve Witkoff, will people be there when we get there? And of course, he got there and they were all there. He was many, many hours late. And these world leaders in Egypt, these are big, powerful people, all men and one woman. These are very big, powerful people from around the world. They all waited for hours for him to get there, hours late to get there. Then I'm watching, and this was something I had never seen before. He started taking selfies with the world leaders. The world leaders lined up and waited for a long, long time to get a one-on-one photograph with President Trump. The way I described it to a caller earlier, it was like a line at Comic-Con for a celebrity. These are big, powerful people. And they were all these world leaders were, and they waited for hours for and I'll explain how this has to do with the Russia-Ukraine war. Maybe you can figure it out while I'm explaining this, because it's so obvious what Trump's plan to end the Russian-Ukraine war is. And many of these leaders are Middle Eastern leaders, not all of them, but a lot of them. So these world leaders waited around for hours and hours for Trump to show up late. Then they wait in line for hours longer in that photo op line to take an individual picture with the president. Then when that was over, each one, when they took their one-on-one photograph, their selfie with the president, then they waited again for more hours for the group photo. Did you see that? I have followed every president of my lifetime. I've always had an interest in the presidency. Have you ever seen that happen before? I'm not talking about a president taking pictures. I'm talking about world leaders waiting hours for them to get there. They're late. Then they wait in line for the individual pictures, the selfies. Then they wait hours longer for the group picture. That's never happened before. And I told you this would be a short segment. I'm going to take every break on time. This will be the only short segment today. I got my clock right here. We're going to take this bottom of the hour break on time. When we get back, I'll tell you how Trump's ending the war and how he announced it yesterday. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, back after this. Have any of you, we're clear now, we're on a radio station break right now. Have any of you ever seen a president of the United States have a thing like that with world leaders? This is this video here, this image you're watching. This is the president, 2:45 a.m., getting off of Marine One at the White House. 2:45 a.m. I don't know how he does it. How does he do it? How does he do it? Nothing like that's ever happened before. Now, have any of you picked up on what Trump's plan is to end the war with Russia and Ukraine? Any of you pick up on it? Okay. Let me find this. Let me know in the chat if you've picked up on it. I gotta play this too. Now, if you're 65 years of age or older, it is Medicare open enrollment period. This is the only time of year that you could make changes to your Medicare policy. Call Chapter. They cover all 50 states. No matter where you are in the United States, you can get free help with your Medicare. You call the number on the screen, 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. You're going to get a live agent on the phone. Okay, you're going to get a live agent on the phone. And this, by the way, this help is completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no catches, no gimmicks, completely free. Get a live agent on the phone, and they're going to review your policy. The average Chapter client saves $1,100 a year on their policy. A lot of Medicare policies, a lot of insurance companies are getting out of Medicare this year. They'll make sure that your policy, if you think your policy is okay, they'll check and make sure that your policy is going to be here after the end of the year. They'll make sure that you're not paying too much. They'll make sure that you're in the best policy for you and your needs and your situation. And they'll also make sure you're getting all the benefits that you're entitled to. This is open enrollment period. When open enrollment is over, it's over. So call now, 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033, and they will review your Medicare policy at no charge. And because they cover all 50 states, they have access to all the over 24,000 Medicare policies in existence. That's right. And again, no matter where you're located in the United States, give them a call. 805-754-3033. If you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, go to my main stream. You can see and hear all the audio and video that I play. The link to my main stream is in the description of the video. Hold on, guys. We'll be back in just over a minute. All right, just over a minute, we'll be back. Just got to check a couple things. Make sure you like the video too, guys. That helps so much. Holy smokes. Okay, less than a minute. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. All right, so let me get back to this and explain what's going on here. Do a quick review. We're to end, and bear with me, guys. I am duty bound to take our breaks on time today. I'm going to do everything I can to take every break on time so we don't have short segments back to back like I just did. Okay, so what I was building up to is President Trump revealed his plan yesterday in Egypt to end the Russian-Ukraine war. I'm going to share it with you now. You let me know, am I right or wrong? This is so freaking brilliant. You can say freaking on the radio. Don't have to dump that. It's the other F word you can't say. So just a quick recap. President Trump arrived in Egypt hours and hours late. Every world leader, many of them Middle Eastern, every world leader waited. Then they waited in a single file line for hours longer to take selfies with him. Then after the selfie picture, they waited hours longer to take the group photograph. Now, as I said, I have always had an interest in presidents my whole life because I've always loved history and everything else. And I've followed every president of my coherent life, okay? I've never seen that happen. I've seen presidents take photos, but I've never seen these are big, important, powerful people, and they're not all third world. Some of them are first world leaders. I've never seen world leaders wait in line for hours and hours and hours to take an individual picture with a president like that with other world. Never seen anything like that in the group. Because it's never happened before. And I told a caller earlier that a guy called me from Canada. Conservative guy from Canada. He's like, I wish we had Trump here. I said, you do. Yesterday, President Trump got a new position. President Trump is not just the president of the United States. He's president of the world now. He is Earth's first worldwide president. He is the president of the world. Not the free world, the world. And that's what we saw yesterday. So what's going on? And so how does all of this relate to Russia? It's so simple. It's so simple. And this is how President Trump is going to end the Russian-Ukraine war. We already have all these embargoes on Russia. Russia, do you know how we've talked a little bit about how they're getting fighters. They're getting North Koreans to fight for them, and they have for quite some time in Ukraine. A lot of the Russian soldiers are North Korean. North Korea is, of course, a satellite state of China. China is funding the entire Russian war effort with a couple of things. One is helping them with equipment and soldiers from North Korea. But Russia has oil that most countries will not buy from, except China. China, the reason we have all this green crap being pushed in EVs on us over these years, it's all from China. China owns the Democrats, and that's where all this green crap came from. China, as big as they are, and they have resources, they don't have oil. They're a country without oil. And you need oil, right? So they've been pushing all this green crap and EVs on us through the buying off of liberals around the world and the Democrats, because they don't want us. They want to weaken the power of oil. They want, they make the parts and everything. And remember, Biden gave them the largest lithium deposits in the world when he gave them Afghanistan, China. And China has been buying the Russian oil. They need oil, and they've been buying the Russian oil. And that's how Putin has been able to keep this war going and survive against all these embargoes against them, is because China's buying their oil. So what President Trump now, he's friends with all of OPEC, except Venezuela. He's friends with the Arab world. He's going to make a deal with China that OPEC is going to supply them with oil. Not to buy it from Russia. He's going to get China to stop buying oil from Russia and buy it from OPEC. And that's going to bring Putin to his knees. And that's how President Trump is going to end his 9th war. All of his friends in OPEC now, the ones that waited for him for hours to arrive in Egypt, and then waited for him hours longer to take the selfie, and then waited hours longer again for the group photo. That's what President Trump is going to do. He's going to make a deal with China, stop buying Russian oil. We're going to get you good deals from OPEC. I got it all set up, and Putin will collapse. That's it. That's how he's going to end the war, his 9th war. When he became president, there were 9 wars in the world. Now there's only 1, and he's going to end that one too. And that is how he's going to do it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Doc from Texas.
Hey, Texas. What's on your mind?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
All right.
Hey, I wanted two things. I'm going to let you go. The first thing is this: yesterday with the peace deal that they all got together and got done. I just hope it holds.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're a liberal alone, because most liberals are hoping that it doesn't hold.
I just hope it holds, because I just hope it holds.
Okay, what was your second thing?
Okay, the second thing is about Letitia James.
Yes.
Letitia James. I just let it all play out in court, because, like I told you last week, Trump went after them because he was being vindictive, and that's just it.
What?
And,
it's revenge?
Revenge.
Okay, now this is interesting. What is revenge?
Revenge is, say like you did something to me. So say you allegedly you say you did something to me.
Correct.
And I'm okay.
Yeah, and then you're getting even, and then you're getting revenge. Someone has done you wrong, and you're going to get back at them. That's revenge. So you admit that Letitia James did something wrong.
No, I didn't. I didn't
Yes,
say
you
that.
did. You didn't think too far ahead. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
No,
did.
you didn't. No,
Yeah,
I
you
didn't.
did. Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. No,
Yeah,
I
you did.
didn't. Hey,
So-
brother, you have a good day.
Yeah, no, you have a good day. You're not going to let me go. I let you go. He thinks he lets me go. I know, I let you go. Oh man, if you're on hold, stand by. There was another. I'm going to play coming up. Big Tish was speaking at the Mamdani event, But first, I want to play this. This was the president of Indonesia. Did you see this? They did some translating. Now, Indonesia is where Obama grew up. Did you remember that? Obama grew up in Indonesia, and Indonesia has the largest Muslim population in the world. And over the weekend, some news came out that Indonesia was going to sign the Abraham Accords. And the Abraham Accords is where, these countries recognize Israel as a nation. So one of the world leaders that waited in line for hours and hours and hours to take a selfie with President Trump and all of that, we got a little bit of a hot mic moment, and the lip readers got out, and this was a terrifying conversation. This is the president of Indonesia begging President Trump for help when he got up there to take his photograph with the president. Listen. Okay, now I know the audio is not that great, but we got a mic from far away. The president of Indonesia says to President Trump that he is not safe in his country. He just said he's not safe in Indonesia. This is the president of Indonesia talking to the president of the United States, the president of the world, President Trump. He's saying that he is not safe in the country that he leads, Indonesia. We can't hear what Trump says. And then he says, the president of Indonesia, he says, I am not safe in Indonesia. I'm the president of Indonesia. I'm not safe in Indonesia. President Trump says something that's not audible. And then the president of Indonesia says, can I meet Eric? Of course, meeting Eric Trump. Trump says, I'll have Eric call. Should I do that? And you can see the guy's terrified. And then Trump says, he's such a good boy, talking about Eric. And he says, I'll have Eric call you. And then the Indonesian president whispers something that's inaudible. And then President Trump says, thank you. So then the Indonesian president tells him he's not safe. He's looking for a safer place, a better place where he's safe, but he's not safe in his country that he leads. He's scared to death. President Trump said something that's inaudible, and then the president of Indonesia says, okay. And then the president says, I'll have Eric Trump, I'll have Eric call you. And then the president of Indonesia says, Eric or Don Jr. He's begging for help. He's not safe. He says, Eric or Don Jr. And then he says, thank you to the president. Thank you. He says he'll have them call. Thank you. Wow, I mean, that was crazy. Talk about transparent administration. Now, we're in a new place now, seeing things we've never seen before. I want to talk about Dr. Philip Appleton and his robotic laser away pain treatment. And there's someone I know, someone in my family, who was having back problems, and they would not. They're out of town. They're an out-of-town person, but I was trying to get them to come here to see Dr. Appleton for his robotic leg, and they wouldn't listen to me. And they went and had back surgery. And they had back surgery a little while ago, and I heard from them over the weekend for the first time since the back surgery, right? And, of course, I asked the question, how's your back? They're in more pain now than before the surgery. They're in more pain now than before they had the back. They had a surgery for pain. They're in more pain now. The surgeries, they've supposedly recovered. It's not like the day after. It was weeks ago. They're in more pain now than since the surgery. And they're talking about going back to the doctor. And I said, why would you go back to that doctor? You went to him for pain. He cut you open, did surgery. You're in more pain than before, and you're going to go back to that quack? And this is the thing. Now, again, I am not a doctor, and I do not give medical advice. However, I give you my life experience, right, Dr. Appleton's rid me of pain 7 times. It started over 3 years ago. The first time he relieved me of pain with his robotic laser away pain treatment. None of the pains have returned. I imagine, what would my life be like? I'd have all these pains. I'd be miserable. I'd be miserable. I'll tell you that. I'd be in a lot of pain. I wouldn't be productive. Not nearly as much as I am. But anyway, I have known in my day, so many people, mostly men, that have had all kinds of surgeries for pain. The back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain's a big one. People go in and they have all these surgeries for pain. And every time, before I knew Dr. Appleton, I would ask people, I'd see them, well, how's your knee? How's your shoulder? How's your back now? Oh, I'm still in pain or more pain, but I've got my second surgery scheduled. Second surgery? Why the heck would you do that? If the first surgery didn't rid you of pain, why would you go? If you have been told you need surgery for pain, if you have a surgery scheduled, if you're thinking of getting surgery, go see Dr. Appleton. The consultation with Dr. Appleton is free. Appointments are necessary. Walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. Before you have that surgery, go see Dr. Appleton. Take advantage of his no-charge free consultation. He'll tell you about the robotic laser, how it works, what he can do for you. Get the treatment. What do you got to lose other than your pain? It's crazy. And I'm really mad at this person in my family who just wouldn't come down here and get the robotic laser treatment. And you know what? They're regretting it. They told I should have listened to you. Give Dr. Appleton a call. We do have listeners that travel from all over the United States to see Dr. Appleton here in South Florida. His number is 954-973-0710. If you have x-rays and scans, bring them with you. He'll gladly look them over. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. If you're on hold, stand by. Stand by. All right, we got to get to Big Tish when we get back here. That was crazy with the Indonesian president. If you're on hold, stand by. Let me see. Is this the clip I want to play?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hold on.
I appreciate you, and I've got your back.
Yeah. All right, hold on. That's not the clip I wanted. I'm going to show you. Okay, yeah, here's the one I wanted. Okay. Okay, we'll be back shortly, guys. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And by the way, those of you that are watching on the live stream with the green behind me, if you go to my main stream, you can see and hear all the audio and video I share, and the link to my main stream is in the description of the video. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, guys. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm just getting some things together. We'll be back shortly. Hold on. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. Welcome. Yeah, if you're watching with the green behind me, if you want to see the audio and video of everything, go to my main stream. The link is in the description. We'll be back in 30 seconds. I'll take your calls. If you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. It's toll free no matter where you are tuned in. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. That's right. The longest-running radio show in the state of Florida, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. All right, I've covered a lot. You're welcome to call in about any and everything I brought up so far. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Scott. I'm calling from Kansas City.
Hey, what's up, Scott?
You were talking about the fists in the air. That's not a Roman salute. It has nothing to do with that symbol or that salute that Elon was accused of. The fist in the air is a longtime anarchist, leftist,
right.
Marxist. Yeah.
Yeah, so Letitia James at the Mamdani event last night gave the Antifa international unity sign of the fist. She's calling on Antifa to come to her rescue, is how I took it.
And yeah, the invisible empire of Antifa that doesn't exist except in concept, except as Andy knows, he got beat up by him.
Exactly.
If he was beat up by a non-existent entity.
Yep, that's right.
But no, they've been around for a long time. They wear the pennant, red and black pennant. That's from the Spanish Civil War. That's both communists and anarchists.
Yes.
They've been around for ages.
Correct.
They've been around since the Russian Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to UC Berkeley, they were known as Young Spartacus. They were around then, and they were spooky then too.
Yeah, they are spooky. They're creepy. Sometimes they call me on the show. All right, appreciate the call. Take care. Now, Letitia James spoke at this Mamdani event in New York last night, and I wanted to play this for you guys. She is she's panicked. She is terrified of going to prison, not just because of what we know she's done. She knows everything she's done, right? She knows everything she's done, so she's thinking about all the things we don't know about yet. Listen to this. This is Letitia James at the Mamdani event where she gave the Antifa fist salute. Listen to her speech. I'll point out some things as we go along.
You see, I know what it feels like to be attacked. For just
Okay, now see that, to be attacked. That is like, the way I describe it, Arsenio Hall is the preacher in Coming to America. She's be attacked. She's doing this black preacher thing.
You see, I know what it feels like to be attacked. For just doing your job.
Okay, now did you hear that? Now she's having a panic attack, and the reason she's having a panic attack, she's terrified of going to prison. A few times here, you'll hear it gets worse. The anxiety breathing, you'll hear it for the first time a little bit here, and then it becomes a little more pronounced as she goes on.
Just doing your job.
You hear that? That breathing, that's anxiety. That's anxiety.
Job. But I also know what it feels like to overcome adversity. And so I stand on solid rock.
Hear that again? The Arsenio Hall black preacher thing? I stand here on solid rocka.
Stand on solid rock.
See?
And I will not bow. I will not break. I will not bend. I will not capitulate. I will not give in. I will not give up.
Did you hear the breathing? That you know, and this is a thing. I've known people that have been on the air or speaking on a stage that have a panic attack. And the breathing is a part of it. You know, when a panic attack, stage fright is anxiety. It's fear, anxiety. It's all fear. And a lot of people that causes breathing problems, and you hear it with her, the panicked breathing of Big Tish here. Listen to this.
Give in. I will
not give up. Do you hear that? Yeah, she's clutching her pearls.
Not give up.
There it is. Okay. I heard somebody say, that's my Tish. Oh my goodness. She's going to do it again.
You come for me, you gotta come to all of us.
You gotta come to all of us. There's that Arsenio Hall preacher thing again.
To all of us.
All of us.
Every single one of us.
One of us. And you can still hear the breathing.
We're all in this together.
You hear it a lot there. After she says we're all in this together, you hear the breathing again. Let me go rewind it. Hold on, rewind it.
We're all in this together.
Hear it? Yeah. Yeah. This is not the same Big Tish that we've seen in the past. She is freaking the freak out. And it's amazing to me that she's having this panic attack because she is on stage with a very friendly audience. And even with this incredibly friendly audience, she's still panicked. And that panic that she's having is her thinking about all the crimes she's done. Not just this one indictment. She's, the thing about these criminals, they think that every crime they've committed. They feel like the cat's out of the bag. And that's where she's lost her mind, is over all of that. And it could not happen to a nicer person. She is really a terrible person. She is not just a terrible person. What she did was so highly illegal to President Trump. She's the top cop in the state of New York. And she's probably afraid she's going to be removed from office because she's facing these federal charges and she doesn't know what to do about it. Now, I got to tell you, it is hurricane season. It is rainy season here in the state of Florida. And if you're on the east or west coast of Florida or anywhere in between, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing for all your roof needs. Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, he handles every type of structure, residential, commercial, and even municipal. And he can also handle the job of any size. So whether it's one single-family home, one office building, or an HOA that has over 400 units, he can handle that as well, a job of any size. He also works with every type of roofing material there is as well. And he's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, he will do it. Give him a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, so you can call or text Tom Laporta. His number is 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, laportaroofing.com. All right? Okay. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the calls after the break. I've covered quite a bit, and I haven't even scratched the surface of my show prep yet. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break for the top and be right back. Okay, hold on, guys. Now, I want to remind everyone to let Mike Lindell know that you support our program by going to mypillow.com and using the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You know, Mike Lindell has supported the expansion of the program, right? Both the extra hour of the morning show, the afternoon show, and my weekend program. And last month was his first month of advertising and supporting this expansion. And he was very happy with the results from you guys out there in the audience. So please go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and let Mike Lindell know that you support the expansion of the program. Okay, hold on. Okay, what do I need for this hour? I'm getting my commercial copy ready for this hour. We'll be back in less than a minute, guys. I'm just getting organized for the next hour. Okay. About 40 seconds, we'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones when we get back. I've covered a lot, so you're welcome to call in about anything I have covered so far. Welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I'm going to go to the calls. I've covered a lot so far on the show today. You're welcome to call in about anything and everything I brought up. I'll take 1 or 2 calls before I bring up some new stuff. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug. What's up?
This right, man. You know, this Letitia James, you know, I can't stand this woman. She's screaming like she's not guilty. Does that make her not guilty because she could scream? You know, and then she says, you go for me, you go for everybody. Yeah, they're the ones who say no one's above the law, right? So, yeah, anybody who does crime, we're going to go get you, man. This woman is nuts. And it's Mondani. Just going there. I'm surprised that the media likes to cover that guy too. Did you see the other day when he was walking around, and somebody started yelling at him that he was an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
He ran into his car and drives away.
Yeah.
They're finally starting to wake up, I think. But New Yorkers are nuts.
On my if you guys do not listen to my podcast, you're missing out on a lot. I did a podcast, and you can, the Brian Craig Show podcast is on all podcast platforms. If you want to catch the video form of it, go, on my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show. And I did a show the other day. Mom Donnie took a bus, and he was humiliated by a New Yorker on the New York City bus. It was pretty funny. But I got a call. I take live calls on my podcast like I do here on the radio. And I got a call from a woman who is a canvasser for Mom Donnie in New York City, who's going door to door. Oh my goodness. She lost it with me. It was hilarious. You got to check it out. You got to if you miss that, guys, you got to see. You miss out a lot. If you guys don't listen to my podcast, you're missing out on a lot of stuff.
I missed that part. Usually I listen, but that one I missed somehow. Okay.
Yeah. If you go on YouTube, it's the episode that has Mom Donnie on the bus, on the New York City bus in the thumbnail photo.
I saw part of that somehow.
Oh no, it's in it. When I go to the part when I start taking calls, when the Zohan Mamdani canvasser called in, it did not go the way she thought it would.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if anybody votes for that guy,
New York does. I'm so done. I'm no longer let New York elect this guy. I'm so done with them. If they're so stupid to elect this guy, I mean, what are we gonna do? All right, Doug, I'm gonna move on. But thanks for the call. You guys should check that out. If you guys aren't listening to my podcast, you're missing out on a lot. You should all be listening to it. If you watch me on YouTube, you can my podcast, you can catch it live and call in like I'm doing now. I saw something that I was in shock when I saw what I'm about to share with you. You've heard this thing. There are always white liberals out there that are willing to take a knee for BLM and all this. Remember when all the Democrats and liberals were taking knees in front of black people to ask them for forgiveness for things that none of us had anything to do with? And it wasn't too long ago, Kash Patel fired a bunch of FBI agents that took a knee to Black Lives Matter. Remember that? Sometimes they would wear like dashiki-looking scarves and things. Remember when Pelosi took a knee to the blacks? And there's always been white liberals apologizing for things that none of us had any part in. And I remember I saw this one's going to blow your mind that I'm going to share with you now. And let me see. Do I have time? I have time. Okay. Yeah. I'm taking all the breaks on time today, guys. Many years ago, I've referenced this on the air many times. The first time I remember seeing this was back on the Oprah Winfrey Show. This had to be in the late 80s, early 90s. She had these two people in the audience. It was a black man and a white woman. And this was the first recorded instance of a Karen. And the black man was the UPS driver that delivered packages to this white lady's house. And and Oprah had them in the audience, not on the stage as guests, but had them in the audience together. And she had them tell their story. The white woman, what happened was, the white woman tells this story. She gets a knock at the door. She opens it. It's the UPS driver, and he's delivering a package. And she broke down in tears because he's black and apologized to him for slavery. Crazy town, right? And I've seen instances of this bizarreness from white liberals over the years. This here, this blows my mind. There's a liberal black preacher in an Afrocentric church, and I want to play you this audio. He brings up a white woman, and he puts shackles around her wrist, and they talk about slavery. I kid you not. Okay, listen. So he's got the shackles in his hand, and the white woman, and he's got all this, it's African stuff around his church. You know, it's so bizarre. He's got just all kinds of weird face masks and stuff around the church hanging there. And so he's got the shackles in his hand. The white woman comes up to him, and he puts the shackles on her, and then they talk about slavery. Listen.
Welcome to America.
Okay, now she's a slave. Yeah, that noise you heard, he said, welcome to America. He's just put the shackles on her and locked them.
Welcome to America. Tell me what you're thinking.
Just so much.
She's got shackles on.
Kleenexes, please.
Kleenex.
I've always been interested in history and the history of Black people. I took Afrocentric classes at U of L. My grandma lived at 2821 West Kentucky Street.
Whatever that means.
I've read so many books, and now I belong to a church that's primarily African American, and I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Now he took the shackles off. What the heck? When I first saw this, I thought this can't be real. And it is real. Now, I only have this one clip. I don't know how many white people were lined up to be shackled by this guy. And I'm sure you're forgiven of your sins by putting money in the collections. And if you do it right, you'll do it on your credit card so they could just put it through every month. Or do you have to go up every month and be put in shackles? She said, I took Afrocentric class at is that the University of Louisiana or the University of Lunacy? I don't know what U of L is. The University of Liberalism. This is crazy town. And I couldn't believe this is true, but it's true.
Welcome to America. Tell me what you're thinking.
Just so much.
Kleenexes, please.
I've always been interested in history and the history of Black people. I took Afrocentric classes at U of L. My grandma lived at 2821 West Kentucky Street.
Does anyone know what that Kentucky Street reference is?
I've read so many books, and now I belong to a church that's primarily African American, and I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's other people in line because he's ready for the next person. I get, this is kind of like me when I go to, I told you a couple weeks ago I went to confessional for the first time like in 15 years at my Catholic church. And sometimes when you go to confessional, you got to wait in line. I got to see if I could find more videos of this guy, of people lining up to get shackles put on. But that's the only one I see so far. That's liberals have this liberal guilt inside of them. Now, I want to talk to you about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I started Coastal Weight Loss Secret in January, the Monday after President Trump's inauguration. And you know what I did yesterday? It was a really something that I was waiting for a while to do. My wife's wanted me to do this for months. I went through my closet yesterday and I took out all of my clothes and I got rid of all the shirts that are too big for me yesterday. And I did. And so I didn't get them mixed up. I have all my shirts hanging in the closet. Every shirt that was too big for me, I just threw it on the floor. I had to make 2 trips to pick them up off the floor. I had so many shirts that didn't fit me anymore because I've lost all this weight. I've got a flat stomach. I've lost over 35 pounds. And it was great. And I took all of my pants out of the closet too. And this, probably over the weekend, I'm going to try on all the pants and get rid of all my pants that no longer fit me. It really is amazing. And it's all because of Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I lost all this weight without exercise, without starving myself, eating foods I would normally eat. I didn't take any shots, no pills, no nothing. Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you no matter where you're located in the United States. We have listeners from all over the country that are losing weight and have lost a lot of weight, a ton of weight from Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. My results are typical. You can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. I lost 25 pounds in the first 3 weeks. Give them a call. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. Total crazy town there. That was nuts. That was so freaking insane with that lady with the shackles. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Have you? Mm-mm. Okay, hold on. I got so much to cover here. What am I going to do next? Okay. Let me cue some things up here. This thing here, though, with this lady is like the craziest thing I've ever seen. You know? I got to see if I can find more. Has anybody heard of this before? Yeah. Okay, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys, to the program. This is where MAGA comes to talk. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones after the break. If you're on hold, hang in there. Let's see. We'll be back in less than a minute. Less than a minute. I've never heard of anything like that. That just cracks me up. It's crazy. That's a Karen cat lady with the shackles. Never heard of anything like that before. 30 seconds, we'll be back. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. 888-465-2631 is our number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee. What's up?
Brianne, how you doing? So listen, I'm listening to you laugh about the exploits of slavery, and I got a scripture for you. I know you don't read the Bible, but maybe you should. Try reading Revelation 13, verse 9.
Well, I'm not, first of all,
Tell me what you think.
I'm not laughing at slavery. And
Yes, you are.
no, and in fact, I told you guys a few months ago, I bought a book about Rosa Parks, or not, I'm sorry, Harriet Tubman from the Underground Railroad, and it was so horrific, I couldn't read the book. It was so horrific what those Democrat plantation owners did. I couldn't read the book. It was too horrific. What I was laughing at was this idiot liberal white woman putting the shackles on and this Afrocentric fake church trying to get forgiven for slavery. That's what I was laughing at, the absurdity of that.
What made it fake?
Well, it actually happened. The church is fake. This guy's a con man. What made what fake?
The church is fake. Church is fake.
The preacher's a con man. This minister's a con man. Yeah.
The preacher is fake.
He's a con man.
Not a real preacher.
He may be ordained. I don't know. They used to have mail order things where you could get ordained. You can get ordained online, I'm sure, pretty quick. No, what I'm telling you is what he's doing. He has these white people, I'm sure, donating money to give their reparations. I mean, he's put shackles on a white woman and turned her into a slave. You're telling me that's not ridiculous? Come on, Renee. Come on.
No, it's going to happen. That's the future. That's what's going to happen to you.
White people in shackles? That's your fantasy? All right. Keep back. I don't want to take you out of your fantasy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Jay from Seattle. Thank you for taking my call, Mr. Craig.
Jay, you've got to speak up. You got to speak up, Jay. You got to speak up so we can hear your your liberal nonsense.
Mr. Craig,
Yes.
I got one question for you.
Oh, here we
What
go.
do you think on the current Bitcoin crash?
I don't.
All right.
Why? What do you think?
Fair
Why
enough.
should I think about it? Why I don't know where it is, if it's crashed, nothing. But here's the thing, okay? I saw another story over the weekend. They found another Spanish ship that had like gold and silver on it that had been there for 500 years. Bitcoin is not like a real thing, right? It's something that's in the air. It's made up, so it doesn't surprise me. You put your money in that. Whatever happens, happens. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. I'm Chris from Pompano Beach.
Hey, Chris.
Great. Of course you're laughing at those morons, regarding the, keeping racism alive and slavery alive, as Obama used to say.
And the checkbook's open from the white people.
And that's why they couldn't let it go. I mean, you're talking about all these firsts that, between Obama being president and everything else, and he doubled down on it. It's just they're out. It's just like when you have a conversation with them and you explain to how things are and the truth, everything from the FBI and the weaponization and everything else. And, right, wrong, or indifferent, because they have a bias for whatever party that they're associated with. Now, I say that in the Democrat Party because there's more than just Democrats or people attach themselves to that party that want to tear the country down. And that's since 250 years, since our inception, they've been wanting America to fail. A lot of people don't realize that. So you have people like, like Elon Omar, whatever her name is, that want to destroy this country. And
well, she said the other day she wants to bring Somalian values to America. What values are those? I mean, Somalia is an anarchy. Do they even have a functioning government? Who wants to bring those? And if the values are so good, what's she doing here?
I love it when they have those truthful moments. You're right. I'm glad you brought that up.
I mean, what the heck? What's a Somalian value? Get out. That's the value. Get out of Somalia.
You got me, but maybe those pirates have a thing or two to say about that. But they're ridiculous, and it is hilarious. And come on, people, grow up. And I don't know if any of these people in your audience have been around for, they've been alive 200 years ago. But no. Then slavery has nothing to do with you or I. And
but this fake preacher, though, he's got a good racket going from white people. With the shackles,
very good. It's just so profitable.
It is.
And, I blame the race pimps like Jesse Jackson and everybody else that made a ton of money.
Absolutely.
Off of this.
Well, listen, it's good to hear from you. I agree with everything you said. You're right on the money. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going? My name's Tom. Calling from Florida.
Where in Florida?
Tampa area.
Tampa area. That's kind of vague. Where near Tampa?
Ybor, specifically.
Ybor? I've never heard of Ybor. Ybor? That's how do you spell? How do you spell that?
Ybor.
Ybor? I've never heard of. That's in Florida?
In Tampa, it's the area in Tampa.
Oh my goodness! It sounds like the sticks. Yeah, I'm looking at the town. That's a hick town. Population 4,341.
Not really a hick town, more like a well, like a wing of Tampa, like a downtown area.
Oh, okay. Anyway, what's on your mind?
I watch your show some mornings, and I'm just curious how you remain to vote for Donald Trump despite it seeming that his views are constantly changing.
His views are changing.
For example, if you want to talk, I mean, we could talk about various subjects. Typically, if you want to talk about, I'm most interested in foreign relations right now. The way he's just completely.
Well, that's great. He just ended his
the
eighth. He just ended his 8th war, and he's about to end the 9th one with Russia and Ukraine. That's next on the list.
God, I hope he actually does it. What I'm concerned about is that it's just totally giving Israel exactly what they want.
Well, that's because you're in Ybor City where life is slower and you don't know what's going on. Did you watch the president's speech yesterday in Israel?
No, but the two.
Oh, okay. So you don't know what's going on. In that speech yesterday in Israel, President Trump said at least twice that Israel and Netanyahu didn't want this deal. Israel did not want this peace deal. They wanted to wipe out Gaza, take it over completely, and make it part of Israel again. They did not want
and
this.
They continue to do that through the
Nope,
night.
it's over. Nope, they signed Nope, it's over. The war is over. The war is over. President Trump will be leading the Peace Council. And I'm sorry, it's over. The war's over. Israel did not get what they wanted. And you anti-Semites are going to have to find a new thing to grab onto. All right, appreciate the call. Now, I vowed, they're so desperate. They're so desperate. You're going to have to find something new. Candace Owens must be in a panic. She really must, because what is she going to do now? I vowed to take all of our breaks on time since the bottom of the hour in the first hour, and we're coming up on a break. If you're on hold, hang in there. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. If you'd like to call in, our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour and come back with your calls. And I have a lot more. I haven't even gotten to a tenth of my show prep yet. So we'll get to some more stories I haven't covered yet. We'll be right back. Stand by, guys. Hold on. Oh, and by the way, Israel did not bomb. Okay, this is what I just looked it up because I thought something might have happened while I was on the. This is liberal ABC News. Okay, the Israeli Defense Forces said its troops opened fire on Palestinians, killing 5 after they violated the terms of the ceasefire. The IDF said several suspects were identified crossing the yellow line and approaching IDF troops in northern Gaza. They were approaching the troops after multiple attempts to distance them. They refused to comply, prompting the troops to open fire because they were being threatened. So that's it. They did not bomb Gaza. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Hold on. We'll be back in 90 seconds, guys. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll clarify that on the air when we get back. And then I got a lot more to cover, too. Oh, yeah, I got that. Okay. So that. Okay, 45 seconds. We'll be back. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. See how smooth this is, taking the breaks on time? Okay, that last caller that said Israel bombed last night, that is not true. That is not true. Although there were 5 Palestinians shot dead by the idea, what happened was 5 Palestinians, they have a yellow line that they're not allowed to cross. 5 Palestinians crossed the yellow line, moving towards IDF soldiers repeatedly. This is ABC News reporting. Repeatedly telling them to move back. They wouldn't, and then they shot them dead. They were threatening them. Now, so far as wars ending, when wars are over, okay, it takes a while to get all the fighting to stop. It doesn't just stop on a dime. People are hopped up. Things are happening. And there are still people in places that are dangerous. It still happens. I mean, the last Japanese soldier wasn't brought in from the Philippines until like the 70s, man. He was over there since the 70s. They made movies about this guy, and he was still fighting the war. In Europe, after the German surrender, the Germans were still fighting in the 50s against Allied occupation forces in Germany. So when a war's over, everything doesn't just stop on a dime. I mean, but these snowflakes who think a war is Call of Duty and a game system, they don't quite get it. All right, let's take some calls. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You hung up on me before.
It's one call per day, and I just respond. One call per day. All right. The rest of you want to hold, stand by. One call per day. Yeah. Okay. Now, so Mamdani, I got the latest Real Clear Politics average. The latest poll has Mamdani. This is the mayor's race, and they have this still a 4-way race. Mamdani, Cuomo, Curtis Sliwa, and Mayor Adams is still in the mix. Mamdani is in first place with 38.2% of the vote. Cuomo's in second place with 23.2%. Curtis Sliwa at 16.6%. And I can't see. And then, he's got it. And I don't know, what is that, like 12 or something? Like 12 or something, whatever's left, Mayor Adams has. Mamdani, while he is in first place, he only has 38% of the vote. And it's mostly because these other 3 idiots are splitting the vote. Okay, I mean, if they would get together, at least they'd have a chance on beating him. But I've got news for you. I'm done trying to convince New Yorkers. I don't care. Elect Mamdani. Okay, get no sleep to that call of prayer 5 days a week, times a day, every night of the week. I mean, how much more can we share with you, right? To let you know, he gave a speech last night. This is the one where Tish James was at. Listen to this.
Over the last 9 months, we have witnessed the largest wealth transfer from the poor to the rich in history.
What the heck is he talking about? President Trump gave the largest tax cut to low-income people that they've... the big, beautiful bill that no tax on tips. People, huge tax deduction for those on Social Security and no tax on overtime. Those are groups of people that never get tax cuts. Whenever taxes are cut, they change the brackets, right? These lower income workers, the tip workers, do not pay income tax. They only pay payroll tax. Payroll tax is a tax you're paying for yourself, your Social Security and Medicare when you're old. Income tax, they don't pay. So that when they change the tax rates, they never get a break. Trump gave the largest tax cut to low-income people that this country's ever seen in the big, beautiful bill.
Wealth transfer from the poor to the rich in history. Trump is like Andrew Cuomo, beholden to billionaires and oligarchs. And like Cuomo, he has bent to their will. The desolation left in his wake has been staggering. Tens of millions of Americans, including millions right here in New York, will lose their Medicaid, their Medicare, their SNAP benefits.
Yeah, because they're illegal aliens and they're illegally getting all these benefits that they're illegally getting. But again, they've changed the definition of Americans. Anyone from the Americas is now an American, right?
Because of Trump's corruption, children will go to sleep hungry. The sick will die.
Oh.
Any way you measure it, our lives have gotten worse.
Not his. He's a millionaire many times over. His wife is richer than him, and he lives in government-subsidized, rent-controlled housing. How's his life gotten worse? Now he's famous and everything else?
I think of the pastor I sat with just a few weeks ago in East Flatbush. He told me how in September, a young woman from his congregation approached him after church. She told him she was facing a deportation order. He knew her well, and he knew the work she did with young people with disabilities in this city.
Oh.
She told him she couldn't afford an attorney and had no one else. She asked if he would go with her to 26 Federal Plaza. He said yes. Sitting in the courtroom, the judge told her to be ready to leave in the clothes she was wearing.
That's right. She's here illegally.
He asked her if she had said goodbye to her family. She began to cry. And then, in what felt like a miracle, the judge changed his mind.
Ugh. Corrupt judge.
He
Corrupt
decided
judge.
he would put her TPS order before the deportation order. For a minute, it seemed as if the danger had passed. But the pastor knew that ICE stood outside. They did not care about a court order because they do not care about the rule of law.
Oh, yes.
He turned to a few court watchers in the room and asked them to go outside first. He asked another man to hold the...
So this judge was about to obstruct federal agents. Sounds like the judge is a criminal.
Elevator. He picked up the young woman under her arms, opened the doors, rushed her past ICE agents.
Okay, so now let me rewind this. This is an interesting story. And if we have any... New York, you deserve it. Vote for this jerk, okay? He's telling us a story that he knows very well. He knows everyone involved, including the judge. Judges have been arrested for doing this. This judge helped a federal fugitive escape the federal agents. That's a crime. Is Tom Homan, bring him in. Bring in Mamdani. He's got evidence of a criminal judge that's committing federal crimes, helping federal fugitives escape. We got to get to the bottom of this. Kash Patel, can you go question Mamdani and find out who this judge is that's helping people escape that are wanted federal fugitives?
Changed his mind. He decided he would put her TPS order before the deportation order. For a minute, it seemed as if the danger had passed. But the pastor knew that ICE stood outside. They did not care about a court order because they do not care about the rule of law. He turned to a few court watchers in the room and asked them to go outside first. He asked another
So the judge, they've created a distraction.
Man to hold the elevator. He picked up the young woman under her arms, opened the doors, rushed her past ICE agents, into the elevator and down into a waiting car before speeding off back to Brooklyn.
Wow, there's the preacher. So this is a getaway car. We got to find out who this criminal preacher is that has getaway cars set up and everything else.
Through it all, her feet had never even touched the ground.
Oh, my goodness.
He told me that it felt like the Underground Railroad.
Oh,
And
please.
still he knew she was anything but safe. We are living in the times that we read about.
Okay. Now, let me finish. What are the times? I got to find out. What are the times we read about?
He knew she was anything but safe.
Let's find out what he's reading.
We are living in the times that we read about. I know that for many of us, when we look back at moments in history that rhyme with today, where tyranny loomed and the state imposed violence with sinister glee, we ask ourselves what we would have done. We need not wonder. That time is now.
Whoever is writing his speeches wrote Obama's speeches. I hear the voice of Obama there. You know, this Underground Railroad that he's talking about, the opposite is true. Don't you, you know, back in the days of the Underground Railroad, don't you think that the Democrat-owned slaves, when they were trying to escape, would have loved to have been snatched up and sent back to their home country? And they would be stopped. And what happened? They were sent back to their Democrat plantations. Well, what Mamdani is talking about here, he doesn't care about anybody but himself. He's got another agenda, which is obvious. But what the Democrats are doing, it's much like the fugitive slave laws that he's referencing. The Democrats don't want to lose their slaves. How often do they say, well, who's going to clean your toilets? Who's going to pick the apples? Who's going to work on the farms? Who's going to watch your kids? Right? They keep talking about all these jobs that illegals are doing. And what they're really saying is we don't want to lose our slaves. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. IB.
Hey, IB. What's up?
You know, like in the movie Merlin, where there's the witch making the potion, always giving the potion to the king or whatever.
Oh yeah. Excalibur. Yes, you're talking about like Camelot, Excalibur and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, his potion is his tongue, and all that is a diversion to get inside people's emotion and into their brain to get them riled up about something, because it has nothing to do with the actual problems that are going on in everyone's daily lives, like not getting their neck cut off in the subway, or maybe they can't afford a loaf of bread.
I wonder if this story Mamdani told is true about the preacher and the judge helping the woman escape federal agents, or did he just make that up?
That's where he's sucking them in with his tongue. His tongue is like the serpent's tongue, you know, wanting you to bite the apple. And those people are supposedly mesmerized with all the clapping and so forth. But then they're forgetting what's going on in daily life. That is just a charlatan, okay? And New York, long time ago, Brian, now you finally turned around. You said it about 3 weeks ago. You're done with New York. Let them get what they deserve.
Exactly.
And I hope when they come down here, they turn their voting register into the R letter.
Listen, I got to run for the break, but I appreciate the call, IB. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm taking all the breaks on time today. I want to talk about Life Imaging FLA. You know, have peace of mind with life-saving early detection. You know, Life Imaging FLA have 3 locations. They have a location in Miami, a location in Broward. I went to the Broward location for my scan, and one in Palm Beach. You know, Life Imaging FLA can easily detect heart disease and even some cancers before you show any symptoms, using only a fraction of the radiation of most CT scanners. You know, multiple studies show that looking inside your body with CT scans can significantly reduce your cancer death. That's true, because they'll detect it. They can find out if you got blockage, if you got plaque buildup in your heart, find out if you got cancer. You know, in 30 to 40% of heart attacks, the first symptom is sudden death. That's why I was so nervous. You know, I told you guys, I was freaking out. You know, I've had cholesterol close to 300 for over 25 years, and I was sitting there sweating at Life Imaging FLA before the scan. They were explaining everything to me. I didn't even hear it, because I was assuming that I was going to have 30 to 40% blockage and plaque buildup, and that I was going to maybe go from there to the emergency room. But I thought by now I would have had stents put in or even open heart bypass surgery, because every doctor I've had has told me for 25 years, Brian, you're going to have a heart attack. You're going to have a heart attack, and you're going to die from a heart attack because your cholesterol is so high. And it's been high. And I found out with Life Imaging FLA that I have 0 plaque buildup and 0 blockage. I have the heart of a 25-year-old. Isn't that amazing? It is, in the peace of mind, it's so amazing. I feel just like a new person because each and every day for many years, I've assumed I was going to have a heart attack in my 50s. Now I'm in my 50s, and I just assumed I was going to be dead one day of a heart attack, and any day. You know, sometimes I'd be doing some work around the house. I'd get tired. I'm like, I better take a break. I'm going to have a heart attack. I just assumed that. And when Life Imaging FLA told me that I have no plaque and no blockage, that I have the heart of a 25-year-old, I just felt so good. You know, get peace of mind. But, you know, a lot of times people go in there and they find out that they've got blockage, they've got plaque, and it saves their life. That happens every day. So call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan with just a few minimum requirements. You know, it's valued at $699. From your cell phone, pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 and just say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Again, that's pound 250 and say free heart scan. We'll be right back. All right, I got to get some things queued up. Okay, I'm going to share that. Okay. I'm just queuing some things up for the next segment. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. Okay, we'll be back in about a minute. Oh, man. I got so much to cover here. All right, welcome back, everyone. Taking the breaks on time has worked out pretty good. The show's been much smoother and a little easier for me, taking the breaks on time. Welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Okay, so Mom Donnie, he took a New York City bus, and there's a woman on the bus, and he's sitting behind this woman. And there's a guy, I'm assuming I'm not sure, was this the New York Times? Was some reporter. And they're asking this woman what she thinks about Mom Donnie's plan to have free buses in New York City. And if it's a good idea. Now keep in mind, Mom Donnie is sitting behind this woman. And then he responds to what she says. And here we go, listen.
Do you buy the idea that free buses would make them faster?
No.
Why not?
Because more people would drive them, so they'd be even more crowded and take longer to load them.
Yes, and unload them. She's like, no, free bus is a bad idea. It's going to slow them down. They're going to be filled. They're going to be stopping more. Oh, my goodness. So Mom Donnie's sitting behind her, and he's going to respond. Listen.
Do you buy the idea that free buses would make them faster?
No.
Why not?
Because more people would drive them, so they'd be even more crowded and take longer to load them.
Makes sense.
How do you answer that?
Because it can't just be making it free alone. You have to be making it free while actually making the infrastructure for it to be fast.
Well, what does that mean? Well, it'll be slower, but you got to make the infrastructure to make them be fast. Well, what's that? What does that even mean? Oh, okay. That makes sense. What does he even know what he means? He just says crap. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on. Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, Dan in Lakeland. Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, I tell you, it really pains me to hear about this creep in New York, Bandani, and it pains me even worse to hear this that Sliwa. And I know you don't like him because he beats his chest and he doesn't really.
Excuse me. No, I grew up following him. Right, I remember when they made the TV movie about him and stuff, and he did good stuff years ago. But now he's screwing everything up. Now he's just a weirdo narcissist who's helping Mom Donnie win.
And he's never confronted this guy about 911. I get it, correct. That I would say from what you said, I think you said that time and time, Sliwa don't have the courage to confront the guy.
On 9/11. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe he does. I mean, at least if Curtis Sliwa wanted to help New York, he would ask Mom Donnie to condemn 9/11, then he would drop out of the race and endorse Governor Cuomo.
Because I tell you, when it comes to pain, I'll never use Bengay and Pompano.
Okay. Oh my goodness. What is it with the creeps in this audience? What is it with the creeps in this audience? Okay, so let me get. I should have known with the voice. Why are all the creeps that call me men? I ask this a lot. I just wish that I could have one creep that was a woman. It's always gay men. Since I started doing this, I've just had gay men calling me just creepy all the time. I don't get it. Okay, so the liberals, I don't know why I'm so popular with the gay guys. It's always been that way. The liberals have this new talking point. I've even gotten some of the calls on the air myself that Antifa doesn't exist, right? This is their thing. Antifa doesn't exist. Well, they're setting up in Portland. This was yesterday afternoon. Nick Sorter, he's the guy that got arrested by the Antifa police of Portland. He caught them on his cell. This guy, he's very well known now. He is taking his life in his hands. He's out there. He catches Antifa preparing for the night. The sun is still out. Listen to this.
I'm here in Portland right now, and it looks like Antifa, the protesters here, have had a shipment dropped off in a U-Haul right here. They're saying it's all the stuff that's been taken away from Rapid Response. and from people since they've been out here. So there's a whole U-Haul full of stuff that's been getting dropped off right now of all of the equipment from the past few months of their protests. You have
so here he's got the U-Haul. This is the organization that the Democrats do not exist. He's got the U-Haul, the Antifa rented U-Haul, dropping off all their stuff for the night.
For the past few months of their protests, you have all this stuff that's getting dropped off right here. You have all of the inflatables as well that the people have been protesting in.
You know, the inflatables, and you can see them trying them on. They have those costumes. They look like they work at Disney World. They're wearing the inflatable costumes they've been wearing.
A little strange. They have a U-Haul shipment full of all of the stuff that's apparently been taken away. So stuff's been coming in. There's still protesters out right now. It's like 4 p.m. right now, I believe, and the protesters are starting to show up here to the ICE facility in Portland.
Yeah, right. And they're loading up right out of the U-Haul. And here's a local person that was interviewed by Nick Sorter. He's a regular guy in Portland, and he's talking about the impact that Antifa rioting's having on them.
Good. Is it loud in there at night?
Where?
In the, do you live here?
Yeah.
It's loud in there at night?
What you hear here is what you hear in that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Now, they're hiding his face to protect him from the organization that the Democrats say does not exist.
What they're doing to these people here, they're people here that have been in Iraq War and Desert Storm, PSTD. You just see them shake in the elevator.
Oh, with PTSD.
And the little kids that with families walking through the elevator would be crying when the bombs, all the stuff. It's really not a fun picture.
Yeah, I mean, so the local, so not everybody in Portland is Antifa. They're being terrorized by Antifa. Now, I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment, which is amazing. You know, the robotic laser, you've heard me talk about Dr. Appleton for years, of how it rids you of pain. He's rid me of pain 7 times. It's absolutely amazing. But I was talking earlier about, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to some calls in a bit. I was talking earlier about somebody in my family that lives out of town that did not take my advice, and they had back surgery for back pain. And I heard from them for the first time post-recovery from the surgery. They're still in pain, and I mean a lot of pain. And they're talking about going back to the same doctor. And I try to get them to come down. You know, we have listeners that travel from far away in other states, other parts of the country, other counties, other parts of Florida, all over the United States to come see Dr. Appleton and take advantage of his laser away pain treatment because it works so well. They didn't take my advice. You know how family are, you know how they, are sometimes. And, he's talking about going back for another surgery to the same quack doctor. And if the first surgery gave you more pain, why are you going back? If you've been told, now again, I want to highlight that I am not a doctor. I do not give medical advice. You're going to go see Dr. Appleton. He's a doctor, okay? His consultation is free. So if you have a surgery scheduled, or maybe you've already had one of these pointless botched surgeries, right? Go see Dr. Appleton. Take advantage of that no-charge consultation and find out what the robotic laser can do for you. If you have x-rays or scans, bring them with you. The consultation's free. You got nothing to lose. And I tell this a lot because I think a lot of you have this experience. I've known so many guys in my life that have had surgeries on their back, on their knees, on their shoulders, and other things for pain. I've never had a guy tell me that they're pain-free now. They always tell me they're still in pain, sometimes more pain, and they got another surgery or 2 more surgeries scheduled. That's crazy. Go see Dr. Appleton. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, and the consultation is free. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We don't have enough time to take a call right now. So we'll go to the phones after the top of the hour break. My name is Brian. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. 888 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be back with your calls and much more, and Steve Kane, after our top of the hour break. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I can't believe it's Tuesday already. Another day, another week of winning. We'll be right back. Hey. All right. Okay, you there? Okay, let me put you on hold just for a minute. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
All right, we got about 90 seconds. We'll be back. Okay.
Give it what it was.
Yeah, hold on.
Done?
Okay. All right. Okay. We got less than a minute.
Okay.
Oh, man. All right, the third hour has begun. I'm Brian. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning. How are you on this glorious day?
Oh man, lots is happening.
Well, this guy, how does this guy pronounce? Now that it looks like he's definitely going to be mayor, I got to figure out how to pronounce his name. How do you pronounce his name?
I like Zohan. Zohan.
Zoe.
Zohan.
Give
Yeah,
him a
Zoe's
nickname.
good. Zoe's good too. Well, Zohan is a nickname, actually.
Yes. Anyway, he is however you pronounce it, he's a gift from the talk show gods.
Yeah.
Because he's the only thing keeping things interesting. The news is getting so good lately; it's boring to listen to. Not that I want to rain on the great miracle that has
What are you talking about? Boring. I don't know what you're watching. What are you watching?
Well, yesterday was a lot of congratulations.
Are you kidding? It was a historic day. It was a historic.
I understand that.
No, Steve,
I
no.
understand that.
Okay, there was yesterday. Did you watch the president in Egypt?
I watched him all over the place.
Oh, well, we got his plan to end the war with Russia and Ukraine. And no one in the media picked up on it. And it's...
Including me, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I shared it earlier, but I'll share it again. These world leaders, many of them Muslim, Arab leaders, they did something I'd never seen before. Trump was about 4 hours late getting there. They all waited for him. And then they did something I've never seen happen before. Each one of the world leaders waited in line for hours to take a one-on-one photograph with the president, right? The selfie picture. And it was like an autograph line of world leaders. I've never seen that. That's never happened before with a president, ever, ever, ever. And then they had to wait around hours after that for the group picture. And then I was
I understand that Trump had a good day. It wasn't. I'm used to the old school where bad news is good news.
Oh, well, that's old school. But with all of that, right there, we saw what his peace plan is for Russia. It was amazing. Okay, hold on. Let me answer all these lines. Because this was the big takeaway, okay? Are you with me, Steve?
I'm with you.
Okay. The war with, when President Trump came into office in this second term, there were 9 wars going on in the world. He's ended 8. There's 1 left, Russia and Ukraine. And the Russia and Ukraine has stayed in war, not just because both of those guys are crazy, because they are, but because China has been backing Russia. China has been buying the oil from Russia. And that's been keeping their economy going. And yesterday we saw what's going to happen. All the OPEC leaders, except Venezuela, all the OPEC leaders are in Trump's back pocket. They love him. You could see it yesterday. He's going to go to China, say, stop buying Russian oil. I'm going to get you a good deal from OPEC. China's going to start getting all their oil from OPEC. And Russia's going to have a financial collapse, and they're going to be forced to end the war.
If it works that way, from your lips to God's ears.
That's what the plan is. That's what Trump's plan is, to end the 9th war, the war with Russia and Ukraine.
And then we'll really have nothing to talk about.
Maybe you won't, but I will. There's all kinds of stuff to talk about. All right, you want to take some calls? Maybe they're not as bored as you.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay. Yeah. All right. We can hear you. Take care. Oh my goodness.
He didn't ask me if I'm ready.
Yeah. No, I couldn't hear the guy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Well, it looks like you ran the callers off, Steve. I don't know what happened. Maybe telling everybody you're bored. I don't know, but if you're on hold.
I think I intimidated. I think I scared him.
Yeah, well, perhaps. But no, so if you're on hold, hang in there. Everything that's going on is not boring. It is the opposite of that. It is incredibly exciting. And when he ends the 9th war, it'll be a beautiful thing. Now, today is Charlie Kirk's birthday. And President Trump is back. He got back to the White House at 2:45 a.m., and today he's giving the Medal of Freedom to Charlie Kirk through Charlie Kirk's widow at the White House for another big event. This is winning.
Deserved.
Yeah, I know. And these liberals.
So what's the last year? Have you heard an update in Chicago? Where were they having trouble over the weekend? Where they called out the National Guard and the judge said no?
That Chicago, and the latest you're talking about Portland. No, Trump found a workaround. In fact, did you hear what Pete Hegseth's doing with the soldiers in Chicago?
No.
Oh my goodness. So. Well, there's a lot of TV coverage of the soldiers in Chicago, right? And Pete Hegseth was watching, and he noticed something about the soldiers. Some of them are overweight. So he gave an order to relieve the fat soldiers from duty and replace them with soldiers that are up to physical standards of the Army. I couldn't believe it. They're out. Wow. Isn't that something? I guess they're off to the fat farm. I don't know.
Well, little peer pressure.
No, but well, it's called, Secretary of War gave an order. I mean, that was insane. I couldn't believe when I read that today. That was crazy. But President Trump, he gave an order to Pete Hegseth over the weekend to pay the soldiers. And the left are freaking out over this because, the left who are keeping the government shut down believe that if they have another No King's Day event coming up this weekend or next weekend, whatever it is, one of the next weekends, they have another No Kings event that the liberals are putting together. And they're putting pressure on the Democrats in Congress to keep
When is that supposed to be?
It's either this weekend or the weekend after. I don't remember. But they're trying to get the Democrats in Congress to keep the government shut down until after that event, so they have something to rally behind. Oh
boy!
And the Democrats think that if the American people feel pain, they'll turn on Trump. Right? If you notice, everything that they've done since Trump came down the escalator is to try to turn people against Trump. It never works. It only makes him more strong. So last week, the WIC funding got cut with the Schumer shutdown. So President Trump took the tariff money and he paid for it. So the low-income mothers can still feed their babies with the WIC baby formula, courtesy of the tariffs. Right. So then over the weekend, since the government's still shut down, the soldiers are supposed to get paid tomorrow. And President Trump ordered Pete Hegseth to use the Pentagon money and pay them. And the Democrats are saying, well, that's illegal. He can't do it. Well, I can't wait to see these Democrats go to court. I hope they do it. They're so twisted with their Trump derangement syndrome. They may just do it. But I'm hoping they go to court today and tomorrow and try to get President Trump to get a court order not to pay the troops and get some Biden-Obama judge to issue a ruling that Trump can't pay the troops. I hope they do that because that's what they're threatening to do. I love it. I mean, they can't stop Trump no matter what. They can't stop the guy. And they're using these corrupt judges to try to do things. If they go to a court and get a Democrat judge to say Trump can't pay the troops, that would be too. Oh, he'll still do it.
They're saying that God's gift to all of us, the voters, is was personally sent by God to destroy the Democratic Party.
And it's pretty much
and
done.
He's done a great job.
There's not much of it left. Yeah. There's not much of it left. I want to take a moment to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Yesterday my wife's been on me to do this for a while, and I've been putting it off, and I did this yesterday afternoon. I went through my closet, and I took out all the shirts that no longer fit me and got rid of them. It was I couldn't believe how many shirts. I said, well, okay. I took all the shirts out of my closet and went through them one by one with my wife. I'm a bit of a pack. I wear clothes until they wear out and have holes in them. I'm not into clothes or shoes. I'm just not, And so I took out all the shirts from my closet and laid them out on the bed and went through them one by one with my wife. And if it didn't fit anymore, I threw it on the floor because I lost all this weight. And I thought I'd have a couple. I had a pile of shirts. It was a huge pile. I couldn't believe it. I had to take 2 trips to the garbage. I did not donate them, but I threw them in the garbage. But I had to take 2 trips of my arms filled with shirts that don't fit me anymore because I lost all this weight thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And over the weekend, I'm going to do the same thing with all of my pants. I can't wait to do it. I'm going to try on all my pants, and whatever doesn't fit me is going in the garbage thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And I couldn't believe how many of my clothes. Yeah, I didn't. What's the opposite of you outgrow? What if I didn't outgrow the clothes. I'm smaller now. So I don't know. What's the opposite of outgrew your clothes? I don't know. Do you know, Steve? I don't know. No, I don't know. It's a new. I've never had this experience before. And it was tough because some of these were some of my favorite shirts, I tell you. But they don't fit me anymore. They're gone. They're in the garbage. And I did all this without starving myself, eating foods I would normally eat, 0 exercise, and I didn't take any shots or injections from some doctor. No, this is none of that stuff. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You back with us, Steve?
I'm back with you.
Okay, all right. Well, you want to take some calls?
Let's do that.
All right, our number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Joanne from Tamarack.
Hey, Joanne.
I've got a couple of quick things. Number one, do you know what the percentage of slave owners was in 1860?
I do not.
Whoa. Okay, it was 1.4% of white people owned slaves, which meant that 98.6% did not. So when they bring up reparations, I don't know how they blame every white person in existence.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
That's just a
All right.
little quick
That makes
thing.
some
But
sense.
I'm wondering. Hello.
Yeah,
Wait
yeah.
1 second. I am wondering if the Senate can take a vote on opening the government and have it be a secret vote. That way, in case there's a couple of Democrats that are afraid to vote, and have everybody know, if they could do that.
Okay,
Have a
we'll
secret vote.
look into that. Hold on, Steve. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to put you on hold for a second and do something totally nuts that I should not be doing live on the air, but I got to do it. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. We're live, so every once in a while we got to prove to you guys that we are live and do crazy things that we shouldn't do. Hold on. Let me get this going here. All right, hold on. I'm trying to get a hold of Attorney Barry Siegel. Hey there, Barry. Hold on 1 second. All right. Okay. All right, Steve. I'm going to conference in Attorney Barry Siegel with us, so let's go. Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. What do you have for us today?
Hey, Barry. Well, Steve, good morning. How are you?
Great.
Excellent. Well, I'm really excited that we're going to have our first seminar ever in the Wellington area coming up this Thursday, October 16th, 10 a.m. over at the Fairfield Inn on Forest Hill Boulevard in Wellington. So for those of you who may have been interested in attending one of our seminars in the past, but you're just like, oh, Boca Raton is too far, inconvenient for you, and you don't want to drive across Alligator Alley to see us in Naples as well, we will be in Wellington, and we will be going over everything you need to know to make sure that you have an estate plan that's going to work for you and your loved ones when the time comes that you need it. And that time could be not just at the time of your passing, but also the time of incapacity, to make sure that you have the right people in the right seats, that your loved ones are protected, and you have the peace of mind that you have a plan that's going to work not just now, but down the road when you actually need it. So those are the topics that will be covered, and it's free, and so I believe it will be well worth the price of admission. Just call our office or go to our website and register. Let us know that you'll be there, and look forward to meeting you and seeing everybody out there in Wellington on Thursday.
What time Thursday is that?
10 a.m.
Yeah, well, that's a kind of, okay, if you're coming from West Boca, 441 is not a bad route. It's a straight shot to Wellington. I take that ride all the time. It's like old. Have you driven 441 north to Wellington, Barry, yet? Have you done that drive?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a nice drive.
So for those of you, even from West Boca, from anybody in Lake Worth, Royal Palm, Green Acres, it's a very convenient location. So,
it is.
Even West Palm. So, please join us.
Yeah, it is. And if you've never been to one of Attorney Barry Siegel's seminars, you learn a lot. And I know you make jokes about this sometimes, Barry. How exciting is it? Revocable living trust and Medicaid planning. It is. It's an interesting presentation. I've seen. I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 of your workshops, and they are interesting and entertaining. They are. And but also because you're making so many life decisions, you get to meet Attorney Barry Siegel and his team, and I think it does a lot of value building, getting to actually meet your staff and you, and see who they're putting their family's future in when they're gone. And I think you'll be very impressed. Give the Siegel Law Group a call. The number's 85. The seminar is free, but call and let them know you're coming, and they'll give you directions. Okay, 855 FLA 3782 is the number. 855 FLA 3782, and online SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel. We'll talk later in the week.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Steve. Nice talking to you.
All right, take care, Barry. Take care. All right, I was able to call him in the middle of our conversation. All right, Steve, you back with us?
Yeah.
Okay. No, so all this stuff is this is probably the most exciting presidency of my lifetime. We've never had anything this exciting because, you know, it's not just all these things he's doing. One of the biggest things he's doing is ridding us of the poison that is the Democrat Party. You know, I mean,
well, that's for sure. I mean, there's no question that when it comes to accomplishments, he's an amazing man and a great president, the greatest ever. I don't think there's any question about that now.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets too easy, you know?
Yeah. No, it's not easy. What he's doing, see, he is so...
He makes it look easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. I know. You know, great people make the difficult or impossible look easy. That's how good he is. I thought
there was going to be a big story, and I read the paper today, and it talked about O'Donnell coming back to the CBS News, and I got all excited because I thought it was Rosie. But it's not Rosie, it's... what's the other guy's name?
Nora O'Donnell is a woman.
Nora, the lady, that's right.
Who cares about Nora O'Donnell?
The guy is a lady.
I didn't even know that Nora O'Donnell left CBS News. Who cares?
Yep, I had seen your paper this morning.
Oh, my goodness. Why would they even put that in the paper? Is that even news? You know, I don't even know if that's news.
Well, they're trying to pump some controversy.
Well, you know, one of the women on The View said that if Trump got the hostages freed, that she'd wear a MAGA hat on The View. So now, she may have tried to forget that, but she's being reminded. I hope that's true. That would be the best. But you know,
what time does The View go on?
11 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
On which station?
ABC.
CBS?
ABC. Yeah. No, if anything interesting happens, you'll see it in the news. It's not worth your time to watch. If anything interesting happens, it'll be a news story. So that's why I don't hear about The View too much. But it was Farrah Abrams, I think is her name. She said if he gets the hostages free, she'll wear a MAGA hat on the show, and the hostages are free. So we're waiting for her to wear the MAGA hat. Now that would get their ratings up if she would wear the MAGA hat. That would get their. I can loan her one. I have like 15 of them. Yeah.
Well, you sure do. You're going crazy with MAGA hats.
I know, but that would be a good. But you know the peace deal yesterday. I mean, it's so sad that they raped and murdered all the women hostages. All the hostages released were men. The women are the remaining female hostages are all gone. They raped them to death. Hamas. It's just terrible. I mean, these are, but it's over, and the war's over, and it's exciting. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Oh, hey, Brian.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Steve. How are you today?
Hey, bro. What's up?
Well, I tell you what, you mentioned about how sick and delusional this Democratic Party, and did either one of you catch the comments by Blinken and Sullivan from the prior administration saying that all these things that took place this past week were because of them and what they accomplished in their administration?
Yeah, the Biden plan.
Yeah, the Biden plan. Yeah. Where are these people coming from? Sullivan, I think, they said the week before
the answer to that.
Yeah, honest to God, Sullivan, I think the week before the raid on the kibbutz in Israel said, "This is the quietest I've ever seen it here. I've never seen it so quiet. I don't even have to do anything." A week later, we had this major invasion, one of the worst invasions ever hit by Israel. Mm-hmm. These people are sick. There's some place in the Bible where God says, "I will send a powerful delusion over the people." I was never sure which people he was talking about. I think he's talking about the Democratic Party and the left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
They're totally gone.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
There's literally nobody making any sense in this party at all.
But I was surprised. In his speech yesterday, President Trump, the biggest takeaway from the speech, I think, is when he looked over at the president of Israel and said, "Can you give Netanyahu a pardon?" And the media totally ignored that. And I got to tell you, they better do it. I mean, President Trump has gone out on a limb for Israel and done so much for Israel. And the things that they're accusing Netanyahu of are such minor. I don't even know if it's true. They could be doing to him what they did to Trump here. But the things they're accusing him of are so minor. Yeah,
I know, and to make that appeal to the president of Israel, the setting in the Knesset, the legislative body of Israel, to say, let's give this guy a pardon. I mean, Trump's foreign policy is beyond belief, really.
Yeah, and he said that wasn't in the speech, and then everything everything he's done for Israel, he saved Israel yesterday. And he's asked nothing. And there's even been a divide in this country among Trump's supporters over Israel that still continues today. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene with all her hatred of Jews all over the place, and he asks one little thing. They should have done it before before the plane landed in Egypt. It should have already been done.
Yeah. This foreign policy, and when Trump makes an in-person visit and delivers a speech like that and puts his stamp on everything he's doing in the policy, Brian, we'll never see this again.
No.
We'll never see a president like this again with that type of... And then he's back here to give an award to Charlie Kirk-Whittle today.
He got back at the White House at 2:45 a.m. I watched him live get off of Marine One at 2:45 a.m.
Yeah. We've never seen such all the foreign, the Mideast leaders, some very difficult to deal with, no doubt very difficult to deal with, all there to greet President Trump.
Yep, that's right. Well, listen, we got to take our break for the bottom of the hour, but appreciate the call. Guys. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. We'll be right back. Steve, you there?
Yes, I am.
We got just over a minute. What? All right, we're back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. Steve, I had one. You had somewhere you wanted to go? Did you have something you wanted to go?
Well, I got a question. I have a question.
Okay.
Do you think that we all know that Pritzker is appears to be trying to get arrested
Yes.
as part of his presidential campaign? Do you think he's going to be successful? Do you think Donald's going to get him off the hook, or do you?
That he wants to get arrested. That's his fantasy. Trump's not going to be played like that. No.
Well, but can Trump stop it?
He's just going to continue to shame him over his fatness and that his family fired him from the family business.
Pritzker knows no shame.
I wouldn't know. He's not going to arrest him. He'll do it. No. He would have to physically attack federal agents to get arrested. And even then, they probably wouldn't. No, that would play right in his hand. You think Pritzker thinks he's going to be the run for president?
I think he's deluded. Yes, I do believe he has that delusion.
Oh, good. Yeah. Make America Chicago. That's a great campaign slogan.
Well, make America Chicago again.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. No, I hope so. Now you don't want to arrest Pritzker. He wants to get arrested too bad. Do you remember that time that AOC pretended to get arrested? She was walking next to federal agents with her arms behind her back. What an idiot.
I remember it.
I had a call today, Steve. This may lose a little bit in me explaining it, but this was in the early show. You know, I start the show like an hour before the radio show online, right? And I get a call from this liberal girl from, I can't remember where it was, Seattle, some liberal place. And, she's got this fake story that she's a Democrat, but she's on the fence. She'd like to become a Republican, but there's some things that are holding her back. And it based, she was lying, right? She's a liberal, but she kept referencing abortion. So we're talking, so I was sharing with her, we had a little discussion about abortion. And then she says, well, you're not a woman. You don't have a vagina. You don't know what it's like. You can't, you know that old line, you can't have an opinion on abortion because you're not a woman. Well, I did something that I've never done before with a liberal caller, and it worked. I told her that just for this phone call, I couldn't believe this guy. If you guys missed this, you got to go to my YouTube channel and watch this. This was like 30, 40 minutes into the pre-show this morning. She says, you don't have a vagina. You're not a woman. You can't give an opinion about abortion. And I said, well, just for this phone call, I now identify as a woman. My pronouns are now she and her. So since now my pronouns are she and her, can I give you an opinion on abortion? And you know what she said to me?
I can't wait.
Yes. She now considered me a woman. Now, of course, so then I could give her my opinions as a woman. I couldn't believe. Now, of course, after the phone call, I reverted to my birth pronouns of him, and he, and I'm a man again. But, she's a true believer in liberty. That was hilarious. I couldn't believe it. That's how far gone they are in their mental illness, these liberals. I mean, just at any time. But what I was wondering, I couldn't believe, I was just joking. I didn't think she would accept that, but as far as she was concerned, since I said my pronouns are she and her, I'm a woman, and now I can have an opinion on abortion. Oh my goodness, this was great. But what I didn't know though, does that apply to ethnicities? Can I identify as black, as an illegal migrant? Can we change our identities to that on a dime too, or is it just gender? Is it just gender?
Of course, people do it every day.
Okay, so how would I do that? For the purposes of that call, I changed my pronouns to she and her. What are the pronouns to be a black guy? What would be the pronouns?
That's a different story. If you want to put it in a word, I don't know if you put it in a word.
It's easy. I'm a woman. My pronouns are she and her are my preferred pronouns, and she respected. I got to give her that. She respected that, but I don't know what would the pronouns be for an illegal migrant. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If anybody knows.
Criminal.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I guess I could. I don't know what the pronouns would be, but I could change my name. The
criminalist.
Well, no, to identify as black.
Oh.
Okay. Do you know how you say Brian in Ebonics?
In demonic.
No.
Early
Not demonics. Ebonics. Remember Ebonics?
Oh, I think I said in demonic.
No, not demonic. No. In the black version of Brian is Byron. Byron. That's how you say Brian in Ebonics. You know, like Jesus in Spanish is Jesus. Joe is Jose. You know, in Spanish. Yeah. In Ebonics, Brian is Byron. So if I identify as Brian, and I mean as Byron instead of Brian, that'll make me black. I don't know what the legal would be. I don't know. Is there a Spanish version of Brian? But I got to tell you, what President Trump has done in 9 months is fantastical. Not only has he ended 8 wars and done all these great things, he's done more damage to the Democrat Party than the Civil War did. You know, 1 million Americans...
Well, it's more. It's not just a question of doing damage. He's destroyed it. There is no more Democratic Party.
No.
He's destroyed the Democratic Party.
No, none. And even, the Democrat rebellion, the Civil War, 1 million Americans died in the Civil War, and that didn't stop the Democrats. They kept going, you know?
What do you think this rally that they're planning is going to pan out to be?
What, the No Kings?
Yeah, what kind of turnout do you think?
Well, I went to the last No Kings. It was on Fort Lauderdale Beach on Sunrise Boulevard and A1A. And Dan, who goes on our cruises, came as my bodyguard. And it was basically, Dan and I were the only straight guys there. It was, you know.
Oh, it's going to be Queens?
It was all gay people. No, there were women too. It was all gay people, pretty much. It was like, you know, and then he and I left early. It was a hot day, so we went to this bar across the street, and the next thing I knew, it turned into a gay bar. We were the only straight guys there. I couldn't believe it. But I told Dan, I was like, look, Dan, we're in a gay bar.
This is going to be bigger than that. This is billed as a national event.
No, they got no organization or will. There's no way. There's no way. They'll have some pockets where they'll have good ones, but for the most part, it's going to, first off, they're trying to go back to the well. They had a big turnout at the first No Kings. And I made a video. It was hilarious. I went around, I left my MAGA hat in the car, right? And I think they just thought Dan and I were a couple. I don't know. And I interviewed them. And I asked them all the same, they all had signs. I asked them all the same question. Tell me about your sign. The first guy said, well, I don't know what the sign says. They just gave it to me. You know, I mean, first guy I asked. If you guys go to my X, Brian Craig Show on X, the video's up there. I couldn't believe it. And it was a I couldn't believe it. And I actually, Steve, found the box of the pre-made signs that they hand out to people. They had it hidden behind a wall in the sand. And it was so fake. And I even caught them. I got there early. I even caught them rehearsing the whatever they were. I forgot what they were chanting, but I caught them rehearsing beforehand with the crowd. It was hilarious. I showed the whole thing. I went undercover MAGA. But what they're doing is they're trying to do a redo of an event that they already had months ago. And a lot's happened. There aren't that many Democrats now as there were a few months ago when they did that. It's going to be a bust. Now, the news might find one rally that they have a bunch of fillers in, but I'm not. I'm expecting it to be low turnout and an embarrassment, not like the last one. There was one guy that did bring. I met one guy who brought his own sign, and the sign says that he was going to pee on Trump's grave when he died. I couldn't believe it, and I went up and interviewed him. Yeah. He says whether they bury him at Mar-a-Lago, whether they bury him at Arlington, whether they bury him at his golf resort, I'll go there. And I couldn't believe it. And he told me that he was an old man. His daughter made the sign with him, his adult daughter. I'm like, what a dysfunctional family. Who would stand out there with a sign like that? But it was basically the last No Kings was basically a gay event, and then you had some idiot dregs, homeless people with the peace sign, and the guy that didn't know what the sign said that he was holding, and it's a fake movement. They're gonna get 10 people. It's not going to be the same as last time. What are they rallying behind now? They've got nothing to. Hold on one second.
Well, they get George Soros' money for one thing.
That's kind of dried up.
They're going to be able to produce something.
That's kind of dried up. You know, now that USAID was behind a lot of this, and now that USAID is gone, they lost a lot of their. I saw one Democrat, I think it was in Michigan, online the other day. They had an event. There was one person that showed up because I'm not exaggerating, and they were on a stage because they don't have USAID. There's not that many Democrats left, and they don't have USAID busting in the fake crowds. All right, let's take some of the calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio.
Yep.
Milo.
All right, Milo.
All right.
Here we go.
I don't know if I'm so excited about the Hamas releasing the hostages as much as you are, because I feel like they gave up the hostages, but they just gained 500,000 Palestinian hostages thousands of more Hamas
Well, it's easy.
fighters.
It's easy for you not to have sympathy for the hostages. One of the guys they released yesterday was the one that they had digging his own grave. I mean, yeah.
I don't feel like that the Hamas has not given up. They haven't even said that they were going to give up. They're not giving up.
They haven't begun to fight.
No, you're missing it. President
Yeah,
Trump said yesterday when he was with the Arab leaders.
Listen.
No, you listen to me. I'm going to respond. Excuse me. I'm going to respond to what you said. President Trump addressed exactly what you're saying yesterday in Egypt with all the Arab leaders, taking out that nuclear silo in Iran, shut Iran up. And what Iran, he said this would not have been possible without that. And these countries, these Arab countries, were all being intimidated. They were being bullied by Iran, and Iran was supporting Hamas. So Iran's out of the picture now. When war's
As
in,
long as the
go ahead.
Ayatollah is alive, if Sharia law is still going on in Iran.
Yeah, but they've lost their juice around the world.
Hamas.
They've lost their juice around the world. And when wars are over, the fighting doesn't just stop. There's always problems for months, even years later.
They now have hundreds of thousands of more hostages than they did
See,
before.
you were dishonest with the beginning of your call. What you really meant to say is you hope that Hamas strikes back.
No,
you're upset that the war's over.
Most of my friends and family are Jewish, so no, don't go there with me.
Oh, are you a Jew? Are you a Jew?
No.
Then how are most of your family? How are most of their family members Jews?
Holocaust survivors.
How do you have a family of Jews and not be one?
Sympathetic to the Jews.
Yeah. How do you have a family of Jews but you're not a Jew? How's that possible? Who in your family are Jews? You say you come from a family that's mostly Jews, but you're not a Jew. How's that possible?
No. I said I'm friends with
you're friends with Jews.
A lot of them.
Oh, you're friends with Jews. Oh, okay. I get it. Okay. All right.
I am best friends with them. I do business with them.
First off, I'm calling BS on this. Steve, I'm from Ohio. Listen, this guy's so full of crap. Listen. Slow down. Slow down. Yeah, okay. Opposed to okay. I'm from Ohio. There's like 3 Jews in all of Ohio. So give me a break. How can most of your friends...
I'm from Northeast Ohio.
Please.
I grew up in Cleveland Heights, University Heights.
Then most of your friends would be black. All right, appreciate the call.
Beechwood.
Steve, there's 3 Jews in Ohio, and Cleveland, where he's from, is like 85% black. So I don't know what he's talking about. Oh my goodness! Steve, like what?
Friends with Jews.
He's not in Ohio.
You gotta give him credit.
All 3 Jews of Ohio. When I first moved to Florida, I started 5th grade in Florida, right? And I was in shock. We got out of how your kids get out of school on the Jewish holidays, right? You don't get out of school on the Jewish holidays in Ohio because there's no Jews, right? So.
What's the Jewish holiday with no Jews?
Exactly. There's no Jews in Ohio. Oh, my goodness. Oh. But, there's more and more liberals trying to pretend to be MAGA. You notice that every day, trying to be MAGA. All right, I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to take our last break. We'll be back with the Gold Report. But first, I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, Joe Thomas, he's going to be in later this week, I think, or next week. I got to check. But we talk about annuities, and annuities are amazing, right? Your money's never at risk, and you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. And Joe Thomas offers free consultations, which you can do over the phone, through Zoom, or even in person. It's up to you. And no matter where you're located, you want to call. But every once in a while, I want to tell you the value that you're getting with that no-charge consultation with Joe Thomas. First of all, he's been a financial planner working with retirement planning for over 30 years. And also this, he's a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by fewer than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. So he's a top man in the industry, and he's offering you a free consultation, either in person, on the phone, or through Zoom. And after that free consultation, you talk to him about annuities, and there's annuities for every possible scenario. I thought an annuity was just a one-style thing. That's not true, as I've learned through Joe Thomas. And he's going to put together a custom proposal for you after that no-charge consultation based on your situation, your goals. But I got to tell you, the free consultation alone has a massive value on it, and it's absolutely free. Give him a call and schedule your free consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, get it off his website, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. Hey there, hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here. Is the gold report coming?
It's coming next. Hold on. Okay, we'll be back in less than a minute. Most of his friends in Ohio are Jews. Give me a freaking break. All right.
I didn't think there were Jews in Ohio.
There's three. There's three. Yeah.
Oh,
one's a
that's
lawyer,
great.
one's a doctor, one's an accountant. All right, let's... All right, hold on. Hold on. All right, William, we have 20 seconds. Stand by.
Okay, thank you.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Steve Keynes here. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metal's looking very stable considering the huge run-ups we have had so far for the precious metals. Gold yesterday trading in a range of $4,000 on the low, all the way up to $4,118 on the high, and closing out the day at $4,109.50, which was a gain of $93.10 in just one day. Silver gained $2.38 yesterday, closing at $52.27. Platinum was up $37 at $1,629, while palladium gained $75 at $1,460. Overnight, we saw gold go down about $20 lower, getting down to $4,090, and then as high as $4,180. Right now, we're at $4,111. That's up $1.50. As I said, we were $20 lower. The market seems to be coming back already. Silver down $1.77 at $50.50 the ounce. Platinum down $6 at $1,623, and palladium down $8 at $1,452. So we're going to see bigger swings in these markets as they continue to push higher. Gold has nothing above it to have any resistance until we get to about like a $5,000 number for gold.
Oh.
So anything is possible from this point on.
Yeah.
The market's, again, very stable for today. A little bit of a pullback. We'll see how long that lasts. These pullbacks haven't lasted very long, but that's pretty much where we're starting today.
You know, there's a couple things I want to ask you about. Silver prices is just out of this world. Are the 1 ounce silver rounds, are those like really good buys right now, or where's the best buy? Where are you getting the most silver for your money right now?
Yeah, the 1 ounce silver rounds are an excellent value. They are. Yep.
Yeah.
For something that's not, and the 10 ounce bars are very good values.
You know, I like the 10 ounce bars because they store well and you can easily monitor how much silver you have. Yes,
and, indeed.
And the silver rounds you hear me ask about, for those that don't know, I mean, can you tell people what a silver round is? Because Steve wasn't even familiar with the 1 ounce silver rounds, and I think they're super cool and a good value. Can you tell people what those are?
Yeah, they're 1 ounce. They're like a 1 ounce bar, but they're round and they're made by different manufacturers with different designs on them. Typically, popular ones have a Indian and a buffalo on them, but we have many different designs. And they say they trade for less than what the government issued pieces trade for in the 1 ounce round. So they're a little bit of a savings.
And it's still an ounce like it's an ounce coin like the mint ones. It's just from these independent mints. And can you talk just a moment about the different brands of the mints, because you carry the good ones.
Right. We only carry the top brands for all of the mints and all of the countries that we deal in, and they are all very popular, easily traded, no matter where you go.
Now, one last thing I want to ask you about the gold. Now, we talk about gold bars and gold coins. Yesterday we were talking about the fractional gold. But you also, we don't talk about this so much, but maybe somebody would like to have their gold in a jewelry. You do have jewelry.
Yes, we do. We are wholesalers of jewelry, but for Steve Kane listeners, all you have to do is say, I'd like to see some of your jewelry. I'm a Steve Kane listener, and we'll wholesale it to any of our Steve Kane listeners. Also, we have bracelets, rings, necklaces, diamonds, watches, all of these things.
Yeah,
so just ask to see them.
Yeah, so somebody might want to have their gold in something they can wear and enjoy or give as a gift. It's another way to stack gold.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. His address, if you want to stop in, is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his phone number and address on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, take care. All right, I'm going to put you on hold real quick, Steve. Hold on while I answer these calls. All right. By the way, are you into the silver bars, the 10-ounce bars, Steve?
No. The first silver bar, you remember with my friend...
with Todd.
Who was no longer with us, Todd.
Yes, poor Todd.
Gave me a 100-ounce bar of silver.
That's right.
And that was my first silver ever, and... from after that, it was just coins.
That's right. Before we go back, we're going to go back to the phone, so hang in there. I want to tell you guys quickly about the Sloman Shield Link. This is something that's super awesome and super cool. The Sloman Shield Link, it's an all-in-one ecosystem that integrates all your smart devices at home with your Sloman Shield. It takes your everyday routines and actions, sets them up on your preferences, and connects all your devices to react based on how you want them to react. As an example, this is, you come home at night, your lights are on, your music's on, your TV's on. As you enter the home, you don't have to do anything. The Sloman Shield Link can also act on pretty much any scenario you create based on what you want to occur. Maybe you want your thermostat to turn down when you turn your alarm on and you leave the house, or automatically lock your doors to make sure your security lighting's on. It can do all of that and more. On top of that, the Sloman Shield Link is compatible with the devices you already have. And they have 24/7 support too. So give them a call, 833-283-5050, 833-283-5050. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Stephen Bryan. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
Hey,
What's
guys.
up?
Hey, Steve. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. That's a quote from Jefferson. And I think, what we're looking at and what we have been experiencing is not in the kinetic sense from our side, but more of it's a rebellion against the lies.
Yes.
People are starting to see through the hypocrisy, and it's sort of we're having an awakening, sort of like like you might have proof of life for a kidnapping case.
Mm-hmm.
This is proof of truth. Trump is a Nazi. Trump bad. Trump TDS, this, that, and everything else. Meanwhile, he's creating peace on earth and goodwill to men. The difference in those two, they don't add up, and people are seeing that. And I believe, when you see the lie, like this guy Mondami, the commie, millionaires and billionaires. When he said that, good Lord, I'm just like, okay, this is Bernie Sanders with a tan. He's not Jewish, but they're both communists.
Yeah.
And I'm just, in New York City, listen, they'll become part of, if this guy wins, we talked about this several months ago. The destruction that he's going to bring will just be more proof. Some people
He'll be the leader of the Democratic Party, for her crying out loud.
He might. They might run him for president. And I got a call a couple days ago from a girl who's a Mamdani door-to-door canvasser in New York City. She's nuts. She's one of the craziest liberals I've ever talked to. And just hey, listen, I'm done trying to convince New Yorkers. Let them suffer.
The pain. Some people need to just leave their hand on the burning stove a little bit longer. These Democrats have been, they've been so programmed into this delusion and projection. They believe these lies. Some of them just need a little bit more pain, and that's coming. Like Tish is in so much trouble. I was listening to the forensic accountant. You're looking at wire fraud, income tax evasion, mail fraud. She is so, I don't know how she can get out of it.
She spoke last night.
Crazy yesterday.
She spoke last night at the Mamdani event, and I went through it in the first hour. She looks terrified. You could see she's a different person, and her face looks different, and she was having a hard time breathing, which is a sign of anxiety. She's freaking out because it's not just
she was getting attacked.
Attacked her. Yeah, she was talking and she It's not the crimes necessarily that she's been indicted for. She knows all the crimes she's committed. So she's thinking, what else do they got on me? Do they know all this other stuff I've done? Her niece.
Big Tish has a big closet.
Well, she also has a big
closet.
Her niece, who's as big as she is, has been staying at that house that she's been charged with the mortgage fraud on, and she's a fugitive from another state. She's got a warrant out from her, and Letitia's been hiding her at this stash house. Which state is the one in? Virginia? Where she's at, whichever one is. Yeah, she's got her in a stash house, and she's got a warrant out or something.
Well, I know there's a new grand jury. I heard in Fort Pierce, Florida. Mike Davis over the weekend was on Maria Bartiromo. I don't know if everybody has already heard that, but I heard that. I don't know what it has to do.
It was about the Bolton. They're saying that the Bolton indictment's going to be next.
There's a lot of trees falling. The Democrats don't have anything left in their forest. They're barren.
No, they got Pritzker. They've got Newscomb. They've got Mamdani. They've got a great lineup.
Pritzker.
We've got Marco Rubio. We've got J.D. Vance. We've got Pete Hegseth, and of course Trump.
Yeah, they're just
listen, we're out of time. I got to let you run, but I appreciate the call.
Have a good day.
All right. All right. The day's over already. Oh my goodness, the show flew just like a snap. The show went by. It's all that winning. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane's been here. This is Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be back live with you tomorrow at 6 a.m. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Steve. All right. All right, now I'm going to continue a little bit in the post show. So if you want to call in, please do. If you're on hold, stand by. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie. Is
Steve
still with you?
No, Steve's not here. You want me to get Steve?
All right,
he had to go.
All right, here's the deal. What happened yesterday was probably the greatest day for Israel, for President Trump. And I don't want to put any, I don't want to rain on the parade. But for it to be called peace in the Middle East right away, while the Israeli soldiers pull out and Hamas is taking over security, temporary security, and they're killing all the people that have been against them. I know you know about that. I mean, they're shooting them in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, President Trump is dealing with a crazy situation over there. He's done a great thing. He deserves everything he's going to get. But you have to see what's going to happen when the smoke settles, because Israel won't be free until the people can sit and wait for a bus or take a bus or anything like that without somebody jumping out of a vehicle shooting them because of their religion.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
well, Richie. Listen. You know, it is when war's end, the fighting doesn't stop. Sometimes for months or years later. Okay, you know that. But now, see, we're in this modern era where everybody's their own live on scene reporter with their cell phone, and you see things you wouldn't normally see. So, you know, with you know, so any, you know, like the IDF had to shoot 5 Hamas guys last night who came on to them, you know, were approaching them and wouldn't back down. You're still going to have those stuff, you know, but because of the cell phone and the internet, it's oh no, look, but that's normal when a war ends.
But here's the deal. Okay, in World War II, you had Japan. You brought up Japan changing. They actually had a surrender. Hamas never raised the flag and surrendered.
They're not a nation. They're not a nation. They're not a nation. They're a terrorist organization.
But this is but this is a ceasefire, and they're not a nation, but they were in charge.
We haven't had a peace treaty with North Korea either after the Korean War. There's never been a peace treaty.
Well, we have
there's a ceasefire.
But we have the DMZ. We have the DMZ.
Correct.
In other words, they're not shooting. And there's no DMZ.
But that's a ceasefire. But that's a ceasefire.
See, I believe the biggest thing that President Trump has going for him is the fact that Israel and the United States wiped out the Iranians, and because of that, there's no money coming.
They should build a 200-foot wall between Israel and Gaza, and you can only get in and out on one road that's as far remote as possible in that tiny little area.
I don't know about that. I don't think that would work. I think it needs to be an open society. What I'm saying is, I think it's going to take many years to change brainwashing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are brainwashed.
Yeah.
You know, and it's you know, so the security situation in Israel. You know, you remember what was happening in the early days when they were blowing buses up and everything. I hope that's because these people are reduced. They don't have the rockets anymore because they don't have the money to buy the rockets.
Well, Richie, listen. The Muslims are still going to. There are still going to be radicals that want to kill Jews. We know that. I mean, look, we have people in this country that hate Jews. Can you imagine what it's like over there? You know, but the thing is with everything that happened yesterday, what President Trump has done that no other president has done, that we have never had before.
Greatest.
There's two things.
Greatest president.
He's weakened Iran. They're not they were talking about this yesterday. Yeah, who were intimidating these other Arab, and he's got the Arab world on our side. This isn't just like Carter. No. Carter would bring together one leader, Sadat from Egypt. He's got the entire Arab world on our side now, pretty much, except Iran.
Well, because the Arab world was in fear of Iran, who's been neutered. Iran
correct.
Is nothing anymore.
That's correct.
And that was the big financial. Iran was feeding all their proxies with rockets and everything else. That's why the tunnels were built.
Correct.
Now Iran is trying to survive themselves.
Yep.
I hope if they could change the face of Iran totally, if a new government could come in there where they wouldn't be radicalized. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened. And President Trump, the Democrats, I mean, they literally at this point, his favorability, when he says we're respected, everyone in the world now looks at the United States totally different. Totally different. This guy is the greatest thing since George Washington.
He is. All right, Rich, I appreciate the call. I absolutely agree with that. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Johnny calling from Century Village in West Palm Beach.
Hey, what's up?
Well, I'm calling to bring up a little different subject about Donald Trump.
Okay.
First of all, I admire him tremendously. I think he's a great president, and I support him 100%. Just to let you know my background, my first president I voted for was John F. Kennedy.
Okay. Well, you live in Century Village, so that jives with that. You're
No, I'm surrounded in here by the other side.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
It is. It's unbelievable, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, the subject I wanted to tap on, maybe I haven't heard anything more about it from our president. While he was campaigning, he mentioned that he was going to look into using federal government land to try to build housing for the poor and unfortunate homeless people.
Mm.
And I know the guy's busy. I mean, the guy's accomplishing unbelievable stuff. But I haven't heard him mention anything about that anymore.
You know, I don't remember him bringing that up. I don't remember that during the campaign. I'm not I'm not saying you made it up, but I just don't remember that. There's bigger fish to fry. There's more important things. I like the idea of putting them back in the mental institutions where they used to be.
Well, that's true. I agree with you there. But he's never mentioned anything, even building a new place to help them mentally on federal land, because nobody wants these people in their backyard.
No. You know, in Palm Beach County, about 10 years ago or so, we passed the panhandling ordinance. So that, we used to have all the homeless on all our street corners, and now it's illegal to be on a main intersection. And we ran most of them out to Broward County. And if you go to Broward County, it's a homeless mecca, Broward County. They're all over the place. You don't want to build any facility, any type of, it's not as much as there used to be. I mean, I remember in Palm Beach County, you go to an intersection, there'd be a homeless guy on each corner. You'd have 4 at every intersection, right? You don't see that so much anymore. But you build any facility for the homeless will come. And they bring with them nothing but terrible things, including a bad smell. Oh, my goodness. That the smell of the homeless camps is awful.
I understand that. They're very troubled people. Some of them have just got bad luck, but I'm just saying something needs to be done. It's not good. It doesn't look good in America.
One of my friends is a sheriff's deputy. He told me if you can, he says you get the homeless, you roll up on them, they all have warrants almost every single one of them have warrants on them. Almost every one. They're mostly criminals. No, I don't want any. Unless you want to build them in liberal lands, they can build the homeless places in California. Maybe they can do that. All right, hey, listen, I appreciate the call though. Right? I don't think have we talked before? Are you a new caller?
Nice talking to you.
Hey, are you new to the show?
I'm sorry?
Are you new to the show?
I listen to you whenever I can. I'm retired, so I sleep late.
No, you should get up early and listen. All right, take care. Good to talk to you. All right. I only ask because he's a local guy, if he's new. I want to play a couple things before I go here. This is Cheryl Hines, who, Bobby Kennedy's wife. She was on Jesse. And remember her from Curb Your Enthusiasm? She played Larry David's wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm. She's a very good actress.
Are you as maha as your husband, Bobby?
I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
Although, I might eat things that he might not.
Oh, do you get in trouble when you eat unhealthy?
I don't get in trouble, but I hide when I eat it because I don't feel good about myself. So if I want potato chips, I'll, stand in the pantry when nobody's looking.
I heard a crunch.
Yeah.
Cheryl, where are you? That was a
carrot. Don't worry about it.
It was just a carrot, Bobby. Go back to bed.
Yeah.
Are you?
This woman here, you got to give her a lot of credit. She's a very good actress. And Curb Your Enthusiasm was a pretty big show. I like the show. And Larry David's one of the who she played the wife all those years. He's one of the biggest Trump haters I've ever heard. I heard him on an interview about a year ago with Conan O'Brien. And I knew Larry David was a liberal, but he's a really nasty one, right? I mean, he's a really nasty one. And for her to come out, she let her husband join the Trump administration. And then she goes on Jesse Waters, goes on Fox News, talking that way. I mean, she's totally blacklisted in Hollywood now, and she's a very talented actress, and she could have a lot going for her in the future. So she deserves a lot of credit. Eat her potato chips. Let her eat her chips, Bobby. Okay, now this is Jillian Michaels, and she remember her? She used to be on that show, The Biggest Loser, and she's gay and she's MAGA. Yeah, listen to this.
I wonder, and I said to my business partner the other day, I was like, well, my wife just got like 10 more death threats in her DMs, and someone called my son a little Nazi, and I was dropped by CAA's Speakers Bureau, and like all these things you go through, and I was like, maybe we should have just endorsed Ozempic and sex changes for kids and wide open borders. Like, we should have just left it. I should have been the poster girl for all of it. And none of this would have happened. But honestly, on my deathbed, I would have regretted it all.
Wait,
So
were
you're
you
right.
dropped by CAA's Speaker Bureau because of this thing that we're talking about right now, or is that something else?
I was dropped by CAA's Speaker Bureau for saying on CNN that you cannot lay all the evils of the world at the foot of just one race.
That was her previous cancellation, Sage. You might have missed that one.
Yep. Very next day, I was like, didn't
So
even
are
answer.
you still with CAA for your representation?
No.
Now, the tolerant left cannot tolerate people who disagree with them. That's how tolerant they are. They will not tolerate those who they disagree with. But, and I play this too, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of these new MAGA people, like Jillian Michaels, Cheryl Hines, and all this stuff, they sacrifice everything to become a Trump supporter. And you really got to support and appreciate them. They really do. They lose all their friends. She lost her agent, CAA. That's her. It's her agent. And that Speakers Bureau, there's big money in that too. So, I mean, she has sacrificed a lot, like Cheryl Hines has done. If you're new to the program, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm here every day. Make sure you subscribe. And, of course, this extension of the program is all sponsored by the great Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Mike Lindell is supporting the extra hour in the mornings, my afternoon show, and the weekend programming. And last month was their first sponsorship. So I got a report at the end of the month, and it was a success. You guys answered my call, and you went to mypillow.com, and you used our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You got to continue to do that. There's great deals going on right now. Go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout, and let Mike Lindell know that his sponsorship of this program is money well spent. You've been doing that so far, and I'm very grateful. Continue to do that because it allows me to do all this extra programming that I'm doing, and it's quite a bit, right? Brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. And not only are there great deals going on, you get free shipping on all orders that are $100 or more. Right now, as an example, the 6-piece MyPillow's towel set, $30 off, just $39.98. These are the most incredible towels. You see Mike Lindell in the commercials, towels that actually work. What a concept. He means that. You dry off with a MyPillow towel once, you'll know the difference. All the other towels you've ever had, they just spread the water around. The MyPillow towel actually absorbs it. So go to mypillow.com, use my promo code Kane. You can use my promo code Kane on all the specials at mypillow.com. The MyPillow My Cross, 50% off. Great gift for Christmas. This is the one that Mike Lindell wears. There's also one that's a little smaller, made for women, 50% off with my promo code Kane. Again, you can use my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, on all the specials at mypillow.com. The pet beds, your dogs and cats will love them. The pajamas, the bath sheets, the bath mats, just great deals site-wide. And you're supporting all my content when you use my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. All right, guys, listen, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for watching. Take care.